All right, welcome to another CPL broadcast. My name is Jealous, aka Chobo Swaggins, aka Trapped in Sea, and today we're going to be doing something that I call bits and ends. It's basically just the stuff that I didn't finish up during the league's running. Stuff like missed replays that were only on 1.18 L Master, and some other stuff that we might have missed over the course of the league. So I'm going to set up one final thing. I'm sorry about that. I forgot that I needed this sound bite. This is. Let me see. 1 second. You know. Okay, almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. No, actually, I'm just going. Okay, I'm sorry about just one final thing that I have to do. One final thing. This is gonna be worth it. Trust me. And yeah, in the meantime, you guys can. I'll just go over briefly what I'm doing. Let me put it up on the screen. I think I can do it without looking at it. Okay, that's good. All right, so today what we'll be doing is these three games that I mentioned earlier, the Pro Forward versus L Master Game 1, Game 2 from Week 9. We'll also be doing the Game 1 from Week 5 of L Master versus Dark Matter. And then we're going to be doing the Storm Drop with Laser Snipe, yeah, Laser Snipe and Evil Eye. And after that, I'm going to be looking at some pro level replays and some high amateur level replays. Those we will be looking at in Notepad, so I'm going to type in something in Notepad and check that my hotkey works. Notepad stuff, okay. And you guys should be able to see it now. Yep, Notepad stuff is up there. So we're going to be using Notepad, just very simple. Like I don't want to overcomplicate things. Basically, just going to give an introduction to players who are just recently starting out. And to find out, well, not to find out, sorry, to demonstrate how I at least look at replays and how I write down build orders that I replicate, and kind of not just writing down the numbers, but how the numbers work in context. So that's what we'll be doing. Real quick, let me check this sound file. Okay, let me see. Play with, no, no, no. I want to play this with. Okay. All right. And let me see one thing, one more thing. Perfect. 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 Yes. All right. Yes, we got it. Okay. This is going to be great. So, I'm sorry that it took me a little bit longer than I intended to set this up, but it will work out. So, yes, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, let's get right into it then. So let me put the volume back up, and we are doing yeah, we're gonna do Pro Forward versus L Master Game 1 first, and let me just double check, make sure that the stream is working. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Yeah, oh, let me see if stream is working before I go in there. Sorry about the extra issues. Like I said, it's my first time streaming this on 1.18. So this part, let's see what Team Liquid looks like. Let's see what this looks like. I'm live, and yeah, so all right, so finally we're gonna get into it now. So without further ado, LMS and oh, one more one more note: macro, micro, strategy, and swag. Those are the categories that I picked out. Someone had suggested after the previous broadcast that I introduce categories into this thing, so that's what we'll be doing. I'm gonna try to fill them out. With letter grades corresponding to how swag somebody is, how well their strat and build orders executed, their micromanagement and their macro management. So, going right into it, Pro Forward versus L Master. Let's get right into the game. No, don't do that. Yes, do this. This should be good. Okay. So now we're gonna look for the replays, which I should have put in the place where replays bits and ends. Oh man, I love it when things actually works. Okay, so this can be CPL, private CPL. Oh shit, what the hell? Oh, yeah, it doesn't like the letter CPL. And now I'm gonna have to find the replay again. Okay. Alright, that's about it. Alright, let's get right into the game. It's going to be on circuit breakers because this is from week 9. This is the first map to be played for all the matches. So Pro Forward versus L Master. And in the top left we have the Orange Zerg Pro Forward. And at the bottom left we have... Wait, what? Oh, shit. He plays Protoss. I forgot he played Protoss for week 9 and then he switched to Zerg after that. So it's going to be Protoss versus Zerg. Sorry about that. It's going to be Elmaster's Protoss against Pro Forward's Orange Zerg. So, right off the rip, Pro Forward, we saw him recently. He cheesed out. Who was it? It wasn't DNH, was it? He has won some notable games throughout the course of this season, and oftentimes due to creative cheese. I think it might have been actually DNH with the what's called he did the one base lurker build, and so far it looks like things could be playing out standard here for now, at least on this end. We are not seeing a second overlord out of Pro Forward, so it does look like it's going to be a 9 pool. But given the spawn locations of both players, and I do want to make a note on that real quick, the overlord almost always scouts vertically first. So it scouts towards what's called towards the natural of the Protoss base, and that way it gets there quicker. Protoss almost always should be scouting vertical as well. There are some cute things you can do by sending the probe over here to see if when the Overlord gets there, but because Elmaster went Pylon Scout, he would have gotten there before the Overlord even got there. Maybe the Overlord might have been actually intentionally held back a little bit. So Elmaster, I like this move from Elmaster. You know, it's no bullshit. You know, just kind of, he's probably anticipating to double scout out of this, I imagine. But he is going to find his opponent first, and his opponent is going for the 9 pool. So this is a great pickup for Elmaster, the fact that he's going to find his opponent going for 9 pool into gas, actually. So already a major boon for our friend Elmaster here. He's going to want to build the forge right away. He's going to go right here, and then the gateway is going to go on top, because that is the tight formation. Yeah, that works too. Placing forge and gateway out this way makes them a little bit more subtle, but you get better cannon surface area. In this case, I think I would have gone for it going in this way, because then you get a little bit more of a pocket for your cannon. You get to protect the surface area a little bit better, especially since we are going to be seeing that 9 pool speed coming out of Pro Forward, staying the cheesy player that he is. But you know, there's no shame in that. StarCraft is a game for all strategies. And every time you try to denounce somebody because they're a cheesy player, it means that you're just not good enough at holding cheese. I used to rage a lot on ladder on IC Cup when I first started out, complaining about, oh, cheesy Peruvians this, cheesy Peruvians that. But ultimately speaking, they help you get better at the game and help you get better against any future Peruvians that may be coming your way. So, looks like Lings are on their way out. The Overlord has spotted the base of Infarction, aka Elmaster, and I like what he did here. The 2 cannons is definitely the safe approach, especially against speed. I would have liked to see him... I don't think a gateway might be extremely necessary, but I would have liked to see maybe a probe or 2 just completely deny any run by, because this cannon is going to finish... Ooh, that was awfully tight. But the Overlord is aware. Let me see how much he actually sees of that. Yeah, he sees both cannons. Very nice Overlord placement from Pro Forward here, and we do see the Nexus follow-up from Infarction. Very good play here. I wonder what this probe is doing, to be honest with you. Maybe he's going to make a hit in third or something, but either way, looks like Pro Forward is actually going to commit to making a lot of Zerglings here, and this is going to be an all-in. I mean, officially after you make the first couple, and he's actually continuing to mine gas also, which I'm not sure what that is about. He might, if he's going for a fast layer, he's already mined too much gas. Okay, the probe dies due to link speed, but yeah, I don't see a point in doing what he's doing here. He's continuing to make Zerglings up to 17, but he shouldn't be mining gas anymore. He should be thinking about how to all-in himself, even though he is already quite all in. You have to be thinking, maybe I should should use that 300 minerals to build that second hatchery. Maybe I should be using that gas to make layer if I want to go that way. I mean, one base Mutalisk, fuck it, who knows? It might work, especially against Speedlings. Speedlings cover this here. With Elmaster's tech being slightly delayed because of him having to go 2 cannons after Forge, it's possible that he could get some Mutalisk damage off if he goes into layer, into hatch, into spire. But as it stands now, he has a lot of unused minerals and very little infrastructure to support it. So we are seeing a third cannon from Elmaster. This is a good read by him, recognizing that there are a lot of Zerglings out on the map. Maybe that's what this probe is for, actually. And yes, just as I say that he does move out with it, this is a really good idea from him. It's so that in case the Zerg player decides to block any scouts from leaving, you know, by having lings here, here, and here, he has that extra scout available. It's going to be interesting to see if this can be enough probes to hold. I don't think so, actually. And the probes are actually not in a tight position. This is a terrible mistake from Elmaster here. They let the probes right in, but the probes do, with 3 cannons, the extra lings do go down. So with only 2 lings, actually, oh wow, I lied. There's way more than 2 lings. There's 6 lings here. It's going to come down to probe stack micro, but in this case, I almost feel like he might have been better off running away. But 4 of the lings do get cleaned up. This is still very tight, and we do see that layer coming from Pro Forward, as I mentioned. So maybe it will be 1 hatch Mutalisk. Okay, yeah, so Elmaster, I would say I would wait for the Zella unless the probes come to you. There's not... Alright, so I'm going to take a moment to explain that a little bit better because I was mixing up probes and Zerglings. Unless the Zerglings are coming to you, and unless there's only 1 Zergling that's injured, you don't want to chase with probes. Like, this is already wasted time and effort on Elmaster's part, going all the way out here. These 2 probes, I mean, these 2 Zerglings should not be able to take out this pylon, this gas, or this... this pylon, this nexus, or this gas before the zealot is out. So ultimately speaking, I don't think that this is a wise investment of probes and mineral time and all that stuff. He should just transfer it right to his nat. Like, this is a waste of time and money, and when you're facing against a potential cheese of 1 hatch muta, that's time you don't have. Ooh, but he does catch 1 ling. That 1 ling does pop. That's a good pickup from him. But still, Pro Forward continues to make Zerglings, probably anticipating the probe scout that he wants to eliminate. He's going to see it here with the Overlord. I wonder if he does notice it, because this probe scout is going to be incredibly crucial for him to deny. It looks like he's going to go for another run by. I'm not sure I agree with this. With 3 cannons there, oh, he does get 3 in. All of them are max health, so this is continuing to be a decent play from Pro Forward. If he's going all in, he's going all the way in. And Elmaster, again, using the probes to combat here. I would use the stack more often than the... Ooh, okay. Nice micro here from Elmaster. Very nice. Very, very nice. You know, a little bit of a flub from Pro Forward, but Elmaster with the great control, pulling the injured probes out. Okay. Yeah, and then now the Zealot should be more than enough to handle these Zerglings if he just stays on top of it a little bit. Meanwhile, the probe does scout, and he does scout the 1 hatch Mutalisk, so this is now absolutely brutal for for Pro Forward. All Elmaster has to do is throw down that pylon, throw down those cannons. But he is a little bit late in reacting. I would have liked to see the pylon placed well before now. He hasn't even started the cannons in his main base, and if we're going to talk about cannon placement, I wouldn't say that this is the best place to place your first cannon. I would like to place my first cannon probably out here. Reason for that is it will help cover the gas a little bit. Gas is what you will eventually need to fight off Mutalisks for sure. And then maybe a second one a little bit lower so it covers the lower half of the mineral line. Definitely need some more in the natural, and honestly I think I would cut probe production in order to get those cannons off, because any probes you make now are likely to get sniped by the first batch of Mutalisks if you don't have cannons protecting them. Either way, it's only going to be 3 Mutalisks. It's better to have the cannon up and ready for the first 3 Mutalisks so they can't freely pick off probes than it is to make those extra probes right now, in my opinion. I'm not sure if that's 100% true, but we do have the Cybernetics Core coming up. This probe has been absolutely a fantastic play from Elmaster. Hiding it here where it will almost never be found, using it to scout out up here to find the extra bases. And now it looks like Pro Forward kind of, I guess, maybe reading the situation that he's in a bad spot, decides to kind of like diffuse the situation for himself a little bit and throw down that second hatchery finally. His income is going to be incredibly slow. I think at this point he can almost afford to take at least 1 or 2 drones off of the gas, because he's going to be he's mined enough gas to make like the requisite amount of Mutalisks. I believe. Having 6 drones on minerals, though, is going to make them a lot slower in coming. So 3 Mutalisks are out, 2 cannons are up, and oof, yeah, he's going to have to run away from that. Probes are being transferred from the natural. Elmaster did not, as I said, manage to put up anti-air cannons there, but in theory, I mean, it's also not the worst thing that could possibly happen. But on the other hand, yeah. Yeah, I guess, I mean, he does need the cannons here as well. But losing this Nexus is not the most optimal situation for him, I believe, either. If he does end up losing it, he is going to be able to make Corsairs now. So he's going to be able to start managing the situation well relatively soon. If we do see Scourge coming out, now that would be a really good play for coming out of Pro Forward if he does make that Scourge. He'll be able to fly in with the Mutalisks real quick, take some cannon shots, and then snipe the first Sair. Sairs are only really scary when they start accumulating. I like this play from Elmaster also saying that Zealot out so that the Mutalisks are forced to subdivide their attention. It looks like they are going to be actually running away from this. I don't think that that's the best option, but it is that what's going to be happening here. And we're actually seeing 2 Stargate. Now, 2 Stargate, it has its merits, of course, considering that Pro Forward is so all in on the Mutalisks. But I think he almost might be better off going for a Citadel in this case, because he's going to be able to produce enough. Okay, we actually do see the Scourge. He's going to be able to produce enough Sairs with this cannon coverage, unless Pro Forward goes for that snipe. This is going to all come down to micro. It's going to have to be Pro Forward. Needs to take some glancing shots on these Corsair. He's going to need to use the Mutalist to cover the cannon fire. Ooh, what? That works? Okay, so Mutalists have to come in first, then the Scourge. Go go go. Okay, no. That's not going to happen. But he is going to be able to probably pick off the Nexus. Great control here, keeping the Scourge scared. I mean, I'm sorry, the Sair scared. But no, that was a mistake. That was a big mistake. If he's not careful here, he's probably gonna lose all of his Mutalisks without taking out the Nexus. Oh my God, 78 HP. That's like 1 or 2 more volleys. Oh, but yeah, the Sair is climbing really quickly now. The Nexus does manage to stay up. He's going to need to fly in with the Mutalisks again to take a couple of hits. It would be nice. Okay. Ooh, no more Scourge coming on the way. I was going to say it would be nice if he could split the Mutalisk before he does that. Okay. Ooh. Nice awareness from Elmaster noticing that Sair was being pulled away. This is tough. It's tough situation. I like the aggression here as well. It really brought down the health on some of these Mutalisks. You know, I would see drones being rallied over there. Pro Forward definitely messing up a little bit. I'm not sure if sending the... Oh, what? They don't react. The Sairs were just parked there. That's definitely a bad look. And he does take out the Nexus. Very nicely done here, but he does pay a couple of Mutalisks forward. Mutalisks that he'll be hard-pressed to replace. Considering the fragile state of his economy right now, he still only has the same 6 drones on minerals, 3 drones on gas. He needs to definitely start droning up, and yes, that's exactly what he's doing. The Nexus snipe was a good move for him, but soon enough, Elmaster is going to have the air dominance. He has a vastly superior economy to him. We are going to start seeing the Citadel now as well. It's going to be interesting to see how Pro Forward tries to kind of transition out of this heavily all-in play. One thing I do want to note is I think that he could afford to rally his hatchery here when he has such a low saturation in the main. Like, get the next 3 drones out into here, and ooh. I was about to say, interesting choice going for the burrow. But it looks like there's been some Overlords getting sniped so far. Makes sense considering the position that Infarction's in, which is the air superiority. But Pro Forward, using the time, using the scouting information that the Sairs are out of place, he's going to try to go for some engages here in the main. But with 4 cannons, I think that's going to be a tall order for him. And as he's getting increasingly more supply blocked, it's going to be a difficult situation for him. So yeah, the all-in definitely did not work. Not the first one, not the second one. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Now, what's the reaction going to be to the cannon count? Yeah, he loses some Mutalisks there. Overlord's trying to hide itself somewhere on the map. Nexus is coming up, and Elmaster's economy is relatively booming still compared to Pro Forwards. We are going to see Overlord speed coming out. It is pretty much a mandatory upgrade at this point, but once again, I want to point your attention to what I've said earlier. If he had taken those drones off gas early, he might have been in a slightly better position at least. He would have had more mineral income for quite some time. He wouldn't die, like, I don't want to predict anything right now, but I think that very shortly he's going to lose the game with over 1,000 gas in the bank. You know, that's something that you absolutely don't need to have happen. Especially I'm suspicious of the second gas, especially. That makes absolutely no sense to me. If you have 1,000 gas in the bank and you're struggling for drones on economy, you need to not do this, and you need to send that drone over here and make sure that you're getting that income to make your units. It's better to keep your income balanced, unless you're saving up for something big like ultras or 11 mutas at a time. In the meantime, though, we are going to see cannons coming up in the natural for infarction. Playing definitely safe. I kind of understand that also because he did just experience two or three all-ins back to back. But the amount of Corsairs is climbing, and it's now at a really, really oppressive level where I think he can almost ensure that Pro Forward never makes another Overlord again. I would have loved to see him scouting, moving out a little bit more with them, but I'm guessing that he was waiting for these cannons to come up, which is also a good idea. So we are seeing a Hydralisk Den coming up now. Overlord speed is not quite done yet. These Overlords are all going to pop. That is absolutely heartbreaking to see for all of you Zerg players out there. And we actually see +1 on the air as well. This is a really great move by Elmaster. I mean, he knew that the all-in was air-shaped, so he needs to find the weapon that would kill the air the quickest. And yeah, as considering how low his economy is, Pro Forward is going to be struggling to even keep enough Overlords alive to move out of this phase of the game, really. Because Overlords, I mean, each one of them costs 100 minerals, and with the low state of his economy right now, it's going to be tough, if doable at all. And now Elmaster is going to follow it up, but it looks like 5-gate speed lot. He is getting Storm. I don't even think that Storm would be the best option here. I think he could go for some classic Bisu-esque Sair DT in this case, considering how superior his Air Force is. But, I mean, I guess if Pro Forward goes for Lurker, it's still possible to hold on to this, but okay, now look at this. 2,000 gas. He has 6 of his drones on gas. That makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. No. No bueno. You need to balance your economy. Look at Elmaster's economy. It's nice and balanced. Is this the first +1? Yeah, +1 coming up on the way. And this is going to be, I feel like, an almost unstoppable attack coming out of Elmaster here. And two Spore Colonies do hold it off. With the Hydro count starting to climb in, yeah, it's going to be Lurker upgrade. This is the proper move here. So, this timing attack is most likely going to devastate Pro Forward with the Archon. I'm not sure about the decision to make Archon after getting Storm. I feel like normally you can hold off on Storm against a Muta opener. And there's no way that he would have Mass Hydra at this point either. So you have to suspect that it's going to be Lurkers coming your way soon. But I guess he's trying to hit the timing before that. And Pro Forward did all the favors for him in terms of being economically behind, not putting his drones where they need to be. So the Lurkers are going to be incredibly late. And this hold, I think, is going to be nigh impossible. Yeah, there's just way too much Protoss in this natural now. And that's GG for game 1. Alright. Okay, so what can we say about that game? Pro Forward, true to his roots, continuing to go for the all-ins. I do feel like he... How can I say this? He kind of went in a straight line. He could have tried to clump his lings up a little bit more. Some of the ladder lings that were running through, like he had like 5 or 6 that tried to get in after the first set of 10. And they are just, like one by one getting double shotted by those cannons. So you do want to try to move your lings in as big of a unit as possible. So that's one thing that he could have microed better. I like the Mutalisk control overall. I thought it was pretty good. What else can we say about Pro Forward? His follow-up build, I think it needs to be optimized by a lot. I mean, the amount of gas that he had simply didn't make sense. The amount of time he waited before making a lair or a hatchery also made no sense. I mean, even if he was trying to hide it, he's not in a position where he can afford to hide it. I feel almost making the hatchery would have been a better choice. I think it would have made him a lot less all in. The Mutalisk did pay off a little bit. It's the management afterwards that made it incredibly difficult for him to have any foothold in the game. Meanwhile, Elmaster, absolutely, I think that was a really well played game by him. From hiding the probe outside to keep tabs on what Pro Forward's doing, to holding off the Ling harass relatively well, to later on. I mean, he pretty much had an answer for every situation, and he kept his head cool throughout the whole time. So for Elmaster, I think the only advice I could give about that game would be to if he knows that there's like almost 20 lings out on the map, two probes is not going to be enough to supplement that wall. I definitely would have pulled like five maybe, just to prevent it from happening at all. Wait for at least for the first zealot to come out. Maybe even throw down a pylon. Try to make the hole even less passable. The third cannon was a good choice there, but I also feel like if he had split the cannons up between his main and his nat, he wouldn't have had to go through the process of losing his natural nexus in the first place. But that's debatable. I think that there's merit to both decisions there. So about the game quality overall, I would give it. I would say I'd give it 2 stars. Well, no, 2.5. I mean, it was more exciting than the very standard macro games that we see, but the execution from Pro Forward, I feel like it was slightly lacking. So we're gonna give him. Let me see how I can do this. Mm, there we go. Okay, so I think you guys should be able to see on your screen. Yeah, yeah, 2.5 stars. Now for macro, for Pro Forward's macro, as we already discussed, there was a lot of mistakes there. I feel like it could have been done a lot better. So I'm going to give him a D for macro. For micro, his micro was generally good. I mean, I couldn't find too many faults with it. The muted control was decent. I think he could have been a little bit more proactive with the muted scourge combination, made more scourge earlier, and used the default attack of the cannons aiming at the mutalisks to snipe some of those earlier Templar to prevent Elmaster from climbing to quite the count that he did. I think that that was his major mistake there. He could have definitely done more with that, and especially if you're going for such an all-in build, that's something that you need to be on top of. So overall, I'd give him a C plus, I guess, because there was good things and there was bad things, but overall, it's a C plus from me. Now, in terms of the strategy, I would say that the strategy was not executed well at all. I think that really goes along well with the macro aspect of it, but it was unique. I mean, it was an interesting attempt, but it just really did not pan out for him. So I'll give him a D plus for that. And for swag, which is I guess ballsiness can be counted as swag. This like super aggressive, hyper all in style of play can be counted as swag in my opinion. I mean, who has the balls to do that in a league match? Um, so I think I would give him at least a C plus for that. Actually, yeah, C plus because he did do well. It just didn't go off as well. So there is a little bit of swag there in terms of build choice, but build execution wasn't quite there for me to call it swag. So that's the grades for him. Now, as far as macro, micro, strategy, and swag for El Master, um, I would say that El Master, I couldn't really find very many faults in his macro throughout the game. He kept his money down, he kept his gas down. Really can't ask for much more in that situation. I don't think it was definitely made easier because of the fact that he got forced onto one base. That he didn't went 2 stars, so he was pretty much just producing Sayer for the first couple of minutes. So I'm gonna not I can't give him like an A plus plus, but he did keep his head on his shoulders and kept everything going the way it's supposed to be going under a lot of pressure. So I'm gonna give him an A for that, and I think that's like the first A I've given anybody for anything this season. I think I gave an A minus earlier, but um, as far as micro, as I mentioned earlier with the probes, there was definitely some things he could have done better in terms of holding off the lanes, whether it be the probes being pulled in the first place to hold off the initial wave of Zerglings, whether it be to to not be sending probes to kill those lings in his main when he had 4 probes running around at a time when economically he probably shouldn't have been able to afford something like that. But there were a lot of really good moments as well, like his awareness with the Corsairs when Pro Forward was trying to bait the Corsair out. There was also an instance where in the natural he picked off quite a few lings and made a little probe wall like slash prison for them. So overall, I would have to give him a B minus. The good moments were good. The bad moments weren't that bad. So on the higher side of things. In terms of strategy, you can't really. I mean, the two Stargate Sayer, it makes sense, but I feel like he almost could have won faster if he went for a Citadel and tried to go Archon quicker. I can understand how it's also the safer option. I mean, if Pro Forward had been more proactive in sniping Sair, the first few Sair with the Scourge Muta combo, having two Stargates would have definitely helped. So while I might personally disagree with it, I can also see its merits also. So I'm going to give him a solid B for that. Good reactions there. Now, in terms of swag, I would count that probe that he hit out there. That's like that little extra something that's really, something that I like to see in games. So I count that as swag. But outside of that, didn't really see very much. He didn't really have any opportunity to do anything swaggerish because he was constantly just defending the all-ins. Um, I will give I like the fact that he sent out that first zealot too. He knew that it was useless inside the main. I mean, overall it's just it's just average C. Uh, eh, I guess nah, it's average. So yeah, that wraps up for game one. I'm gonna try to stay consistent with these ratings somewhat. Let me see, let me hear what you guys think so far. Oh, there's an echo. Where are we on 1.18? Yeah, yeah. Hafan, I'm sorry, I can't host 1.16 replays. I mean, I can't host 1.18 replays on 1.16. And for the record, you could always have resources displaying with the regular slash replay show resources command. I mean, I can do that. All right, I'll try to do that. Thanks for pointing that out, by the way, Failol. Is there anything I can do to fix this echo? I wonder. If it's not that bad, I'll try not to. I'll try to keep it the way it is, but I can't help anything right now. I didn't hear much of one earlier. Um, is it maybe because no, I don't have my own stream up. Okay, so without further ado, I am going to now move into game two. Let's go game two. It's going to be again Pro Forward El Master, and Pro Forward looks like he chose Fighting Spirit as his second map. This is loser pick. We are going to see what happens here. Definitely a lot more comfortable for sure. Both players on this map, I'm going to expect. So it's going to be interesting to see how Pro Forward cheesed on this one. In the top left, we do have the Purple Protoss Infarction, aka El Master. And in the bottom right, we have the Brown Zerg Pro Forward. El Master says, so weird, lol. Sometimes it like I have to host. Smiley face where it gets laggy. Alright, well, as long as it worked out for them in the end, we're going to see what happens here. We are going to see 6-7 drones out of Pro Forward, so no early pool shenanigans coming out of him yet. Yeah, I think Elmaster is at like engineering school, so they probably have like some crazy like 300 gigabytes upload speed or something like that, but hella firewalls on it. But yeah, in general, I want to say that I don't think that 5 pool is a very good build on Fighting Spirit or other 4-player maps in general. So I do advise against it. If you're going to be a cheesy Zerg on a 4-player map, I would go like 9 pool speed, kind of like what Pro Forward did here. There's a slight chance that Protoss might not catch it in time. Now, let's see. Yep. So Infarction, he is scouting to the bottom left first, and I like this move because as opposed to Circuit Breaker, which is what we saw last game, where there is a horizontal symmetry. On Fighting Spirit, there's a radial symmetry, right? So, as opposed to thinking I have to always scout down or I have to always scout across, on Fighting Spirit, Zergs almost always scout clockwise, which is this way, right? Yeah. And then so my suggestion is that Protoss always scout counterclockwise. Now the reason for that is you can also do the same trick you did on Circuit Breaker, which is sending the probe here first to catch the Overlord coming from the base down here, for example. But ultimately speaking, even if you don't do that and the Overlord finds you first, you want to find the Zerg first also. Now in terms of reading the player, Pro Forward, he decided to go for 12 hatch this time, and I really like this decision because he's known as a cheesy player, so this makes it so that Infarction, I mean, he went for Forge first, he double scouted, he did everything that is necessary so that he wouldn't die to cheese, which means he played slightly less economically than he would have been able to if he played against a player who only does like 5 pool cheese or 9 pool speed or something like that. So as a result, Pro Forward playing really smart here, I think, playing the series mentality very well, which is something we haven't discussed a lot of in these broadcasts. The fact that when you're playing a series against somebody, you have to kind of base your play off of what happened last time a little bit. So Infarction is doing that, and he did it to his advantage. But because Pro Forward was the aggressor in the previous series, I think that's why he has a little bit more leeway to go something like 12 hatch. He did, looks like he thought about sending his drone down here to make that hatchery, but it looks like he is going to be going for a third hatch in his natural, which I don't really agree with. I think that's a little bit too blatant of a move. I mean, you're intentionally limiting your potential economical options. Whereas for Infarction, if I was him, I would instantly read, okay, this guy's going to go like 3 hatch Hydra Bust or somewhat of 3 hatch Tech, because if you're making your third hatchery here, I don't see very much point in doing so. Another thing that should be mentioned is that this isn't really a very good Sim City for it either. And wow, going for a creep colony too. This is incredibly odd build for me right now. I don't really understand what he's going for with this. Creep colony is incredibly way too early, I believe. If you think about it, what's this creep colony achieving for the next minute? Zealot hasn't even been started. Gateway just finished. It's not going to be morphed into a sunken colony anytime soon, or at least it shouldn't, because that's wasted minerals. So really, you've just kind of weakened your economy for pretty much at least a full minute just to throw down a creep colony that's not going to do much for you. So that's kind of what. Oh wow! And as soon as I play, it goes right to a sunken colony. So yeah, not really going to agree with the decision. The only thing that maybe it could be used for is if he hides the tech. Okay, all right. So that looks like it might be what's going to happen here. He's going to. I mean, if I was him, I would put the. Actually, no, then it doesn't matter because. Yeah, so he's going to try to kill this probe, try to get rid of it real quick so he can hide the tech that he's going for. And I guess now it makes sense why he went for the 3 hatcheries, third hatch in the natural, because he is going for that 3 hatch tech. He's not going to be able to defend a third base hatch. It just all feels like way too obvious, though. On the other hand, Elmaster hasn't been able to scout yet, and he knows that the gas is relatively early. He probably, the fact that he doesn't see a layer, I wonder how he's going to react to that when he does finally see a layer. In the meantime, he himself is going very standard cybernetics, Stargate. I noticed that Elmaster plays the Cyber out here a lot, which I don't really agree with. I mean, this place is kind of fine because you can still fit 2 cannons behind it, but sometimes, especially some of the other players in leagues, I've seen people put their cybernetics in like really weird places like here and here. It's almost inviting you to get get Hydra busted, for example. So immediately I'm already noticing how Pro Forward, lots of idle larva, gas is idle. He did throw down the Spire, and he did prevent any future scouts from coming out. He is going to check out the front out here. Yeah, looks like he's not going to be going in there. And yeah, so we are going to be going 3 hatch Mulus this time. And Elmaster is going to have Corsair out in time to scout this. Elmaster, you know, keeping his build quite tight. Oh, let me see if I can. What was it? / resources. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. I forgot. Sorry about that. We can see him at the top when I select the players, but so Elmaster's Corsair. First thing it does goes right to the natural. Yeah, right to the natural of Pro Forward, and then he's going to check the main. He's going to see that the Spire is almost done. He should be continuing to make a continuous Sair production here. And wow, he actually reads the 3 hatch Mutalisk. I mean, that's a very hefty read. I mean, normally you wouldn't want to invest in 2 cannons this early to off of what is essentially a blind read, but it is the proper read in this case. So good play here from Elmaster. The Mulisks are going to be on the way out. Going to be 9 Mulisks total, it seems. Oh no, 8, and then the 9th coming shortly afterwards. Meantime, he is going to build that Sair count up. But you want to see the +1. Yep, and the +1 is on the way as well. So very solid reaction from Infarction here. One thing that I guess might be possible, like a small opening that could be abused by Pro Forward, is if he snipes this forward cannon and uses Lings and Mutalisks to attack here. There is some possibility of doing damage, but as the Sair count climbs, It's going to be incredibly hard, and we're going to need to see a lot of very good Mutalisk Scourge Micro, something we didn't see in the last game. Basically, the way that works for all of you guys who don't know, let's say there's Corsairs buzzing around here ready to fight against any Mutalisks. Mutalisks come in first, so this cannon's shooting at the Mutalisks, this cannon's shooting at the Mutalisks. The Sayers are going to be shooting at the Mutalisks, and then the Scourge come from... Usually, you don't want to stack them on top of where your Mutalisks came from, because then they're going to take pretty much extra damage from the Sayers already targeting the Mutalisks. But the Scourge come in, and then you split them off 2 each to target each Corsair. And now the Corsairs have no choice but to run, right? So while the Corsairs are running, the Mutalisks are targeting the cannons. And while the Sayers are running, the Scourge are chasing them, not being hit by the cannons, because the Mutalisks are the ones that are taking the cannon shots. So that's the theory of how it's supposed to work. In the meantime, it does look like he's just going to try to go straight for the main and see if he can do any damage there. But with 2 cannons there and the Templar Archives on the way, I don't think it's going to be very likely. We do see a total of 4 Corsairs here. 4 Corsairs is almost that magic number. 6 is enough to snipe Scourge. Okay, 6 is enough to snipe Scourge before they hit. And 5 with +1 air is enough to do the same. In the meantime, we do see that Pro Forward's macro, once again, has slipped heavily. It's clear that I don't think he's using his hotkeys nearly enough. I mean, he probably has 1 for his Mutalisks. Let me see if I can see that. No, I can't see that, unfortunately. But he probably... What you need to do is you need to hotkey these first 3 early hatcheries. What I like to do is I keep them as 3, 4, and 5, or my 5 would be here normally, right? So if I have Zerglings on 1, I have Mutalisks on 1, and Zerglings on 2, I just once in a while I just pump in that 3 SD, 4 SD, 5 SD, which is 3 select drone, 4 select drone, 5 select drone. And then even if I don't come back to my base for the next 10-15 seconds after that, and my drones start piling up because I'm microing my mutas, when I do come back, I'm going to have those drones. And if I do continue to produce units while I'm fighting, I have my Mutalisks, I tell them to run away for a second, 3 SD, then 1 run back in. That's exactly how multitasking, I think, works on the higher level. He's going to come in here and try to pick off some probes. Good micro so far, picks off 2. Took about 5-6 cannon shots. Yeah, that last excursion went a little bit too far north with the 2 cannons there. And the Sayers are ready for it as well. I'm kind of puzzled to see why he hasn't tried to snipe some of these Sayers. He has to know that the magic number is approaching. And there's the +1 finishing up. Yep, very nicely done here. And we're going to see looks like it's going to be the same follow-up as last game. Just throw down some gates and go for Zealot Archon, which in this case I agree with. Let's see. Another one picked off, and ooh, definitely going way too far out into these +1 Sayers. And wow, yeah, you never want to get the Sayers to catch up to you like this, because now he's going to be able to chase him away. Chase him directly. Oh, the Scourge come in, but they don't target. They're not targeted, and wow, all of the Mutalisks smelled. Wow, that was absolutely brutal. And again, this whole time, he's not macroing. I think he made 2 drones, 3 Overlords, and that's about it throughout this whole time. He did manage to throw down a hatchery and a Hydra Den in that time period, but the expenses is too great now. I mean, he has Lurker coming up, but this timing attack could kill him right now, honestly, if he just goes out with the Zealots right now. +1 not started yet. I don't agree with that. +1 could have been started by now for sure. But yeah, this is it's gonna be hard. Yeah, so looks like speed is done. Storm is on the way, and this attack should be a go right now. I think I would just rally my gateways to the natural. A little bit of a macro slip here for sure from Elmaster. Not sure what he's doing. He's probably going for the 3rd Nexus. Not a bad choice. When you're ahead, get more ahead, but right now he could outright win, I think. Meanwhile, Pro Forward's still lacking that macro from earlier. He is going to hide some of these Lurker eggs. I like this move. Elmaster's going to get here and not be able to outright win. I think if he makes... Oh, it looks like he's being a little bit indecisive in the middle of the map here. But he is going to make it there soon. Even if... Even if... the Lurkers are out, Zealots can still do a ton of damage just by sniping hatcheries, running into mineral lines, being generally annoying. And now that he knows that it's going to be Lurker follow-up to this, ooh, that was an interesting choice. But he's going to run into the main now. These 4 Zealots are going to handle this sunken. Wow, you almost, yeah, I guess when you're not paying that close of attention, when you're trying to split your attention both ways, yeah, that sunken goes down. Now he's going to be able to snipe drones, and he's going to be able to snipe drones in this space as well. And Pro4 is just completely overwhelmed now, and Wow, the stacked drones definitely take a beating here too. And in the meantime, Elmaster staying on top of it, adding gateways, adding his nexus, adding cannons. Very nicely done here from Elmaster. Still would like to see the +1 come a little bit earlier. He's had the money to afford it for a while. Other than that, I mean, even if he doesn't take out these hatcheries, he did such a tremendous amount of damage. I think Pro Forward is down to 3, 4 drones, 5, 6, 7 drones against the economy of Elmaster, which is honestly quite booming. I mean, there was probably at least 12 drones here. I mean, 12 probes here. Ooh, actually, this Maynard suddenly got a lot more questionable because he transferred like 20 probes at least here, and he left maybe 3 on the middle line here. So you definitely don't want to do this. Like, I would rather that you hotkey your third nexus as 8 and do 0p, 9p, 8p, or whatever your numbers are. Hotkey all 3 nexi and transfer less probes because you kind of take a economic hit transferring like 12 probes from this mineral line to that mineral line, especially when this mineral line is now completely unsaturated. I mean, there's 3 probes on this entire mineral line. You want to, I would say, leave 1 to 1.5 here and transfer so that there's 1 to 1.5 here and on all 3 mineral lines. So he could have, yeah, this mineral line is actually decent. This one's a little bit too fat now, and he's not going to need to produce probes from this nexus. And you often do at this point still need to continue producing probes to get up to that magical 70 number. So a little bit of a mistake here, but nothing too serious. Meanwhile, Pro Forward is still going to be struggling very hard, even with the Lurker upgrade. And interesting thing to note here, a lot of people start this layer upgrade while it's being attacked, which they think is going to help save it. But actually, as you can see, first of all, you don't gain any health while it's morphing in. Second of all, you don't gain any health. You don't gain the layer health right off the bat. It's not like this layer was at, this hatchery was at, I don't know, 5. And then it, oh, 1 second, I'm getting a phone call. This is, I swear these telemarketers do it just to piss you off. Like, I don't own a car, but they tell me about my car's extended warranty. So it's like, thanks for rubbing into my face that I don't have a car anymore, but whatever. Anyway, so as I was saying, when you click the button to morph layer, you don't magically gain health, and you actually don't gain any health while the layer is made. You only gain that after the layer is already finished. And wow, adding a little bit of insult to injury, taking out some more overlords here. Elmaster is taking a very decisive lead here. Um, some units kind of tossed around by Pro Forward, maybe a little bit desperate this time. Definitely, it looks like he lacks the late game management, which is something we saw earlier. Well, I think it was last week, yeah. But now, doing the smart thing, transitioning into what's called Dragoons. I think this robotics could have been a lot sooner. It should have been honestly done by now, because he saw the Lurker eggs well before he even launched the attack. DTs are in here now, though. DT Sayer, very strong combination, reminiscent of the Bisu. And oh wow, he's trying to go Lurker drop. I guess that's Pro Forward's thing, but they are going to get picked off with the Corsairs. And I can't believe he got both those upgrades, but yeah, that's GG. Wow. Okay. So yep, I guess what we learned today is be careful of Pro Forward's what are they called? Lurker drops, because it seems to be a popular move of his. In the meantime, let's grade this game. This game, I mean, I would give it like a 1.5 star. I hate being this brutal, but that's really how I feel. Because I mean, we didn't see. I don't think Pro Forward brought anything new to the table in that game, and Elmaster saw through that right away. He went for blind 2 cannons in his main base. I don't think. I mean, I know he saw the layer, but he didn't know if it was Hydra Den or for lurkers, lurker contain, which sometimes happens, or lurker drop. Although I guess cannons in the main cover both, so either way, Pro Forward, I wouldn't say that was the best thought out build, especially after you just cheesed the game prior. So let's go to the grades. Macro, Pro Forward, honestly, that was like a D minus. Like that was really bad macro. So for so long that you had opportunities to macro more, you really just didn't, and I don't think that's excusable. even if you're an all-in player, you shouldn't have no mid game whatsoever. Like you need to practice that mid game up, my friend, which means stop opening cheese just for a little bit so you can get more proficient at the other elements of the game. And in the meantime, uh, yeah. So let's see. The micro again, like he missed one of the key elements of what is needed to to this build, which is sniping Sayers with Scourge. I mean, he tried to snipe them and he really just didn't. He didn't abuse the cannon auto firing mechanics. Um, he made a sunken colony really early on, which cost the drone to because he couldn't catch the probe with his Zerglings, and I just don't agree with a lot of the decisions Pro Forward made that game, so I'm gonna give him. But I mean, his Muto Micro, he did kill two probes, but then he also ran in too far into the cannons, and he eventually lost all of them to Sayer. So, I mean, honestly, there was pretty much no redeeming qualities about that micro, and I'm sorry to be so brutal, but it's just kind of true, and I think Pro Forward knows it after what he after after the reaction he had after that game. Strategy, it was less all in than the previous game, but it was still like hella all in. But that's only because of the fact that you didn't macro behind it, and I don't think that was a good strategy to do after what's called after the last game where you went for pretty much a more all in version of the same thing. Um, what else is there to say? I mean, the sunken colony definitely messes with the build. I think that this is a build that works only against people who are like really bad, and you should be doing builds that work against people who are less bad, so that you can get better yourself. So in terms of the build, I'll give it a D plus because it was kind of an improvement on the last one, but because of the fact that it was repeated, it was kind of took away from that higher rating I would have normally given. And the sunken colony, I'm still not a fan of it. Now in terms of swag, that was a low swag opportunity. I mean, like again, it takes balls to do to go for Mulus again, but it's kind of just showing like, oh, I can't really do much else. So, and other than that, there was no like pimpest moments like the Stork versus Jadong, where Jadong swoops in with the Mutalisks and then the Hanbang. You didn't do it. I mean, you had the perfect opportunity to do it, and you didn't come through. So the swag, just a D. No swag, no grade. Now let's go to Elmaster. The macro definitely slipped in a couple of places. Can't give him that A rating, but and the probe transfer kind of a little bit egregious as well. I mean, it's hard to stay continue to care when you're that far ahead in the game, but I do think that it was. I mean, it was still good macro. You can't really argue with that. His build was really well timed, which is macro and strategy and build kind of all are overlapping concepts. So can't really knock him too much. He did float a couple of some more money than I expected to, and the plus one was later than I thought it should be. So I'm gonna give him a B for that. Um, in terms of micro, the micro was good. I mean, the Sayers, he did the moving A shot to snipe the Mulus that got too close to them. That was very nicely done by him. He also what else did he micro well? I mean the fact that he didn't snipe the sunken when it was at 4 health, he probably just clicked to those zealots and checked what's called. He's like, oh shit, I'm attacking this sunken when I could be killing drones. He pulled off without checking the sunken health first. So it shows that he really wasn't paying that much attention to micro in a situation where micro is pretty much the most important thing he should be doing. And at the same time, his macro almost slipped a little bit at that same time. So for micro, I'm going to give him another B minus because at the end he did still have good concepts of what to do. He split his zealots up, forced the lurkers to burrow prematurely, then ran away from them, and yeah, can't really fault him for too much else. Getting the Archon into the mineral line and attacking the drones really, I mean, fried a lot of drones. That was a good decision by him. In terms of the strategy, I mean, let's be real, he was more or less clairvoyant in his read of his opponent there. So his build was right on the money. I mean, it was pretty much the perfect answer to what was coming his way, and he did it confidently. He did it with no doubts. So I think that an A here is definitely applicable. The only thing that's knocking him away from an A plus, in my opinion, is the late +1 and the slight drops in macro, which could, I mean, he might, in theory, have been able to make a third Nexus a little bit sooner. But either way, definitely an A level effort from Elmaster here. In terms of swag, I really don't like this category anymore now that I think about it. Like, swag is just so rare in these games, I think, but they do happen in moments. I like the what's called the, like I said, the leading shot, uh, the moving A attack, like where you kind of click in front of the Mutalisks and then A click in front of the Mutalisk and then move and then A and then move then A really quickly to finish off all the Mutalisks that are too close to you. So that's kind of pimp. The splitting of the zealots and microing and the burning of the drones, that was pretty swag too. So while nothing extreme, I'm gonna give him C plus for that. The swag I think mostly came in the mental game and the strategy itself. So that's a C plus there. Echo is fine now. Thanks for the comment, Python. So let's see. Next we have Elmaster again versus Dark Matter, and this game is from Game 5. From quite a while ago. This is how long I've been putting off doing this because it is quite hard for me. It took me quite a long time to set this up, and as you can see, it's still an amateur effort at best. But in the meantime, let's get into that game. I don't actually even remember what map that game is on, so this is going to be an interesting thing for me. And I don't think I've seen this game. Well, actually, I definitely didn't see this game, because if I didn't cast it, I didn't see it. Which, you know how hard it is being a caster and a coach, because I can't watch the games until they've been casted, because I don't want to spoil myself. Kind of like it is for Laser Snipe to be an administrator and a player and stay objective. Wait, what? Why is it on Fighting Spirit? Oh, is that the previous one? I don't think game... something's wrong here. I'm going to make sure that I downloaded the right replay, because there should be two. So yeah, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Da, 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 da. Let me see. Dark Matter. Oh no, that's not what it's called though. Okay. Let me see. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. Elmaster versus Dark Matter. Jump. Oh, I mean, they are in the right order. I don't know why he played on Fighting Spirit. I don't think that was the map of the week for week 5. Hmm. I'm curious to know if this... did I download the wrong one by chance? No, there's no way. Let me see this. I need to make sure, because... Elmaster Dark, how many? 97, and this one is... Yeah... Yeah, yeah. Let's see. If they're both 97, yeah, yeah, I did download the right one, so I don't know. Hopefully this is a good replay. Let's put it that way. Hopefully this is a good one, and I'm not going back if it's not. I'm not. Actually, Dark Matter asked, so I kind of want to go back, but all right. So in the top left, we have Dark Matter, number 2 player in the league for this season. Um, Very strong Terran player. Made a lot of strides recently. C minus player trying to get C. And in the bottom left, we have Elmaster. This looks like it was played on 1.16. What the hell? No, it's not. But sorry, no confusion. Elmaster, bottom left, purple Zerg. Now, as I mentioned earlier, he is going to be scouting clockwise on this map. This is very standard. So I think again, Dark Matter, if he's going to be playing safe, which he's going to double scout, I would still suggest to scout the counterclockwise. So I think Zerg should scout clockwise on Fighting Spirit versus Zerg. You should scout counterclockwise if you want a rule of thumb that way. But we are going to be seeing at least 12, most likely 12 drones coming out of Elmaster. Yep, 12 drones and no pool, so it's actually going to be 12 hatch. This is the standard build for ZVT, no cheese coming out of Elmaster. And meanwhile, for Dark Matter, we do have the 11 racks. So let's see which way Dark Matter scouts. Let's see. And yes, he does scout counterclockwise. Good pick in my book. The question is, at this point, if you scout that the opponent went for 12 hatch... Wait, I want to make... Hold on. I want to make sure... Yeah, sorry guys. Sorry. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Okay. Yeah. Wait, 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 wait. Wait. All right. Okay. So, yeah, sorry about this. I'm not good at this. Well, all right. You know what's beautiful about 1.8? We really didn't miss anything. We could run it back, but I think, as I mentioned earlier, we've already seen everything that we need to see. We will be able to see everything that we need to see. The game did just start. So we do see the Overlord going north. This is going to be going clockwise. El Master, the purple Zerg on the bottom left. Dark Matter, the blue Terran on the top left. El Master went for 12 hatch. Dark Matter went for 11 racks, and he scouted counterclockwise, which I believe to be the correct choice on Fighting Spirit. And what I was going to say now is that when he scouts this 12 hatch, what this means to him is that he can actually skip making the second depot and go straight for command center. But it looks like he's going to almost blind go for the second command for the command center. Or at least he was sending the SCV in preparation of it. I guess anticipating the fact that El Master is a very standard macro-oriented player. So, ooh, actually, he went back. That's an interesting choice. I wonder what for. I think I would have just made the command center, and you could actually delay the Marine until, I don't know, like you could make the command center, then the depot, then the Marine if you want to, but continuing making SCVs throughout the entire time. So, in the end, we do see the the command center get thrown down. The Overlord finds out about it. The drone goes back home, and the SCV is just gonna scout around. Now, in another situation, if the Overlord did not scout the command center, what you could do is go for a fake bunker rush. You start building the bunker, it forces the Zerg to pull like an inordinate amount of drones off their mineral line, and they start chasing your SCV around. And in the meantime, you're actually not going bunker rush at all. You cancel it, and you go for a command center with like no Marines. But instead, Dark Matter decides to stay inside the main base, keep scouting. He is going to see this third hatch. Great reaction time here, but ooh, a little bit of a miss micro. Nice micro from, ooh, very nice micro from El Master. Completely bullies the SCV out. Unfortunately for him, Terran have map hacks that they're going to activate in about 2 minutes or so. So, no need there. He's going to send the Lings straight to the opponent. The opponent now actually still low on Marines, so this might be a little bit dicey. Marines go up on top of the ramp. SCV staying alive, keeping track of how many Zerglings are coming out, when the layer timing is. Zerglings kind of, I guess they kind of went out the wrong way now that, and there's also only 5 of them. He sent one back to attack the SCV, which is a good decision. I like that decision. And if this, he doesn't want to lose this SCV. I like this decision by Dark Matter to defend against these Lings that he knew came out. Sometimes Zergs don't even make 6 Zerglings, but in this case Elmaster opted to do so, and while his Marine count is climbing, he used the SCVs to wall the ramp, which is a really good play. Kept his SCVs and his Marines alive at the sacrifice of a little bit of mining time. But on the upswing, he did get 6 links to be made by Elmaster. Unfortunately, though, in the meantime, he did lose his SCV in the main base of Elmaster. A little bit of a multitasking error there for sure. And it doesn't look like it's going to be the infamous 1+1 5 racks. This is going to be 2 racks stim, and this is a quite aggressive build. It can sometimes outright kill a Zerg if they're not prepared for it. I've heard some players say that because of +1 5 racks being so prominent now, this build actually got better because less Zergs are prepared for this particular timing. 2 medics are out relatively early. I think this should be indicative of at least of to Elmaster what is going to happen to him, because this is slightly earlier medic timing, if I'm not mistaken, than what normally would happen in a +1 5 racks build, because you usually go engineering bay before academy. And he immediately throws down the colonies. Looks like he's going to be adding more drones though, not Zerglings. Zergling speed should be done. Yeah, Zergling speed is done. And this attack making its way over across the map. Sunken colony, a little bit late. This one started up at a decent time, and you can see now why this is so dangerous. Wait. Because the Sunken Colony just finishes, and the upswing here is that Terran pretty much forced 2 drones and a total of what? I mean, if you count the colony and the Sunken morphing, it's 250 minerals, 50 for each drone, so that's 350, and then the loss of income. So definitely well done here by Dark Matter, creating that pressure. I like this move here too. That was a really smart play here. He was retreating the Marines, making himself seem vulnerable, but then sent the fire bats forward to try to catch the Zerglings off guard if Elmaster wasn't paying attention. But Elmaster is on top of it. He's going to keep running around with the Lings. I think that earlier in the game, when he had the 4 Lings like out here, and he first saw the Marines and medics come out, maybe it was like out here, he did lose one and was called eat some damage on them. I don't think that there's much benefit to having all 4 Lings out here. What I like to do is I would like to leave like one here, and then one like here, and so this one is the one that's kind of telling you like, okay, something's coming, most likely. This one's the one's like, are they really coming or not? Because sometimes what Terran will do is they'll move out, kill the Ling, and then just decide not to attack because they know they're going to do the economic damage they intended to do anyway. So I like to keep like a double check system at the cost of maybe 2 Lings, but at the same time keeping all of my Zerglings somewhere else. Something that Terran could always be afraid of, you know, who knows if there's going to be a run-by going on or whatever. If you just show them that you have all your Lings out in front of his base, he knows how many Lings you have, where they are, and yeah, that's not, I think that's, you know, how should I put it? Not using all of your assets in the best and most strategic way possible. In the meantime, we are seeing +1 coming up for Dark Matter, and he is going for a factory behind us as well. So this is a more standard, more old school. Well, I don't even want to say old school. It's still a modern. Ooh, wow! Did he pick off both of those fire bats? If so, that was a pretty decent pickup for him. But still, this is still a modern Terran play, but this is just not the build to do. This is just overall safe standard, and it's most likely going to, if I were to predict, going to amount to being a 3 tank 1 vessel push. Now in the meantime, we do see the Mulisks come out of Elmaster, and it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Mutalisks, if I'm not missing one by accident. So this, yeah, he's gonna come out here. I don't agree with this. I mean, I guess he is waiting for that additional one to come in, but I feel like you want to attack with them as early as possible, because your Mulisks are kind of like a window of time in your gameplay. Like, soon enough, these Mulisks will not be useful. You want to get the most use out of them as you can. Lings run in a little bit too early, and Mulisks are not able to cover them, and he does sacrifice a couple of those Lings. He is gonna be looking to making his 3rd base right now, but he's delaying it a little bit while while trying to snipe some drones and Templar drones and SCVs and turrets. God damn it! So he's starting the lurker upgrade now. For this drone, I wouldn't just keep it out here, even though Terran probably knows that you're gonna expand here. If he scouts here, if he scans here rather, he's gonna see that your drone's already chilling there waiting. So he can send like 1 Marine and mess it up. But if you hide it like over here, then the Terran's gonna be like, oh, he didn't send the drone there yet. Or and if he does go here, you might not even look here. So that's just another thing to consider. Now the Hydra Den is already up, and we do see Hydras coming out. I want to see these Hydras go directly, 2 of them to go directly here right away as soon as they're spawned, or at least as soon as he realizes it. At least. Ooh, losing some Mutalisks here. Oh wow, this is a pretty decent turret placement from Dark Matter here. Actually, if you notice, he hasn't built any inside his mineral line because he is using the Marines to cover that gap in his turret coverage, and using these up front here to protect his tech and protect his depots. A lot of things that worse Terrans do, and it's something that I do because I'm bad. I build like my turret here and here and here and here, and you end up actually building more turrets for less surface area, and Mulis can still snipe them. So this is the preferred, I guess, way of doing it, covering outer portions and using Marines to support it. So you Terrans out there, do take note of this. Now in the natural, it's a slightly different story, because if you build too close to the walls, Mulis can fly like right up inside the range of the turret without the turret ever shooting at it. So in the naturals, you do often want to build them right here. There's something for you guys to think about. Now let's see the Hydras. We've actually already got 6 Hydras here. Now the thing is, these are slow Hydras. They're gonna walk really slow. I mean, that's redundant, but so you want to take these 2 Hydras and send them to this location as soon as possible, so that if you do get the lurker upgrade while they're in transition, you don't have to wait long in order to do it, and you don't have to wait for your lurkers to finish here to take your 3rd hatchery. Like, he's gonna do it here, but it's almost risky at this point, considering he doesn't have his Hydras on the way, and then even if they do, and if they morph into lurkers first, it's gonna be a while before they get there in the first place. So something that could be thought about for sure. Now, lurker upgrade should be just about finished. Yes, it is, and I'm not sure I agree with these aggressive maneuvers with these bleeding Hydralisks here. Feels like lurker was actually kind of late, to be honest with you. I feel like it could have been a little bit sooner. I think you can throw down your Hydra Den either at the time you spawn your Mutalisk or like even before your Mutalisks are spawning. You just throw it down when you can calculate that you're gonna have enough money for the Mutalisks. So it might have been a little bit late. Maybe it was while he was microing. His lurker upgrade was late as well. But as I said earlier, it does look like it's going to be, okay, a little bit of a micro flub here. It's going to be 3 tanks and waiting for that science vessel to come out. I wonder if, yeah, I don't think irradiate can be done by this point, but the vessel is as much for irradiate as it is for detection, which is what allows Terran to push against lurker heavy armies where lurkers will be interspersed throughout the map. And the push is going to be on now. Yep, 3 tanks, 1 vessel, very standard. +1 is done. And Elmaster keeps exploring with these Mutalisks, but I don't think he's getting much out of it. Like, he's only really just injuring his army here. Okay, nice try to flank here with Lings. But there was just way too much Terran here, and honestly, as far as flanks go, this was a decent pocket, but he didn't have the army to do it, so essentially he threw it away. You don't normally want to flank without lurkers when the army is that big against that kind of a push. So you see now he kind of just donated 1/2 of his army, and the second half is now looking kind of super weak. If he had pulled back, or if even better yet, maybe if he ran with the Lings back here and then took this army and sent it around this way, wrap it around, he could even just bust down the front as well. Excuse me, I recently saw a nice base trade game from way back in Brood War's history where it was Zerg versus Terran, and then the Zerg just kind of went for the base trade and won, which is interesting, but it was against Jeju against Zelus. But now you see this army is not going to be able to flank anything, and running up with just almost pure lurkers is a quick death for them more often than not. Yes, he killed some Marines, not a lot, and he did force him to pull back a little bit. I feel like Dark Matter could have microed that a little better, probably sniped some more lurkers in that situation, but he kind of didn't, but it's okay. In the meantime, Elmaster is still being starved for gas. He made Scourge here, which I think was a mistake. He sometimes does do that, where he does SS way too quickly with his 300 APM. But if you do that, then bring the Scourge over here. If they snipe this vessel, it makes your lurkers that much more potent. In the meantime, we should be seeing Hive done, and Defiler Mound is done. It feels like it's also slightly late. Like, you want to have Consume be finishing up sometime before this, I think, even. So I think it all kind of ties together. The third being slightly delayed a couple of times. That was a nice flank. That was a good flank. See, that was a good flank. Attack from the front, attack from the back, burrow behind these Marines. But +1 Marines are just so fucking good that they just completely annihilate the remainder of the lurkers. And these Hydras are now being completely donated for free. You don't want to be donating that. You need them for the lurkers. But the upside is that he did manage to stay alive. Okay, now this is something interesting here. Dark Matter bakes the dropship. I really like dropships in TVZ because Zergs, especially at this point in the game, really have nothing to defend inside their main base, but they have all this juicy tech that you can snipe and all these juicy drones. So drop tech, very good choice, but I almost feel like you can make a dropship before your vessel, because while the science facility is coming up, you get the add-on, and then you make the dropship, and then when the dropship finishes, you make the vessel. But on the other hand, I guess it also, if the Zerg is on top of their consume timing, it makes your push almost non-effectual. So, but either way, I like dropships, and I think that a lot more Terrans should be starting incorporating them into their play. The Scourge definitely arrived kind of late. You never want to send Scourge in by themselves. You want to send Zerglings to eat more fire from them. In the meantime, 2 lurkers out the front, defilers. Oh man, consume's not going to be for a while, and these tanks are going to keep pouring out. In the meantime, we do see the 3rd command center from Dark Matter, who's staying on top of his macro quite well. Trying to move in here. I don't agree with this move in here. I mean, he does have enough to probably take it with just Marines, but he's donating Marines when he has a siege tank right behind it. These Zerglings are going to help provide some cover, but a little bit too late. And now both of these lurkers are quite injured, especially the one on the right. So this push is going to continue making headway. We still don't see a defiler on the way, I don't think. Do we even have a defiler on the map? Yes, we do. We have just one. Oh, okay, yeah. You don't want to leave your vessels chilling around it either. I know it's a lot of things to talk about at the same time, and a lot of things that people do wrong in a situation where there's a lot of units for you to control. But you, some of the key priorities are don't lose your vessels, don't lose your defilers, things like that. Now, this drop is most likely going to do a lot of damage. I mean, there's pressure at the front. He is microing at the front as well. Taking out this army would be a good move, but at the same time, we see the Marines and medics run in, and no reaction from Elmaster. He's going to lose a lot of drones here for sure. Oof, yeah, lose pretty much all the drones. And at this point, you kind of want to start considering what tech do I want to remove first. In general, I feel like Evo Chamber is always a safe pick. It doesn't have a lot of health compared to the other ones. I mean, actually, Spire has very low health as well. But Spire, mostly only good for defeating your vessels. Vessels are good, but Hydra Den's build very quickly. Queen's Nest not really a factor in this case. So I like spawning pool snipes because they have really long build times, and a Zerg who can't make Zerglings is gonna be pretty much permanently on the defensive, because he's not gonna have any army, any meat to his army. He can make lurkers, but he can't make Zerglings, and this is pretty much the key combination of units at this mid-late game. Now, Evolution Chamber, also often a good pick because it's getting the upgrades, which are really time sensitive, so I would like to see what Dark Matter prioritizes in this case. And Defiler Mound, also a decent idea, but now that he already has Consume, he could just pop out a couple of Defilers and try to keep him alive. But it looks like he's actually not going to be able to pick it off, I don't think. Yeah, Zerglings came out and were immediately routed to defeating that army. In the meantime, he does irradiate one Defiler with this vessel, so strong multitask coming from Dark Matter, and it looks like he's loading up another drop actually. This is exactly what makes dropships so potent. It forces Zerg, who's already running relatively low on units, split them up between multiple bases. Third base is on the way. I like this move from Elmaster here, parking these mutas here, but I think a better place would have been like over here. Now, in the meantime, Swarm proving it's worth its weight in gold, and Medics too far away to help these fledgling Marines. And Elmaster seems to be gaining some territory, but at the same time, we do have the drop in the main, and oh my god, he still can't finish off that Defiler Mound. I mean, I feel like what Dark Matter can do, he can unload the Marine medics like over here, and then run behind the mineral line and run around this way, and use the fact that there's better surface area here to run back. And he could also pick off a lot of Overlords in the meantime. But the way that he's running in, he's kind of keeping his Marines spread out here and with a lot of surface area that Zerglings can attack from. So even if you're doing drops, you want to make sure that your drops are optimized, or at least somewhat optimized. Now here from Elmaster, I guess these two are backup lurkers, but I think they could have helped him at some point earlier in the game before this. Looks like the mules got chased away by Marines, and the third CC is going down. I feel like Dark Matter really needs to decide right now if he's going to go mech transition or not, because he needs to start building production facilities on 3 base, and it looks like he is going to be going for the factory transition. Going to make a couple more M&Ms first, though. I can't blame him. He's lost a lot so far, and these drops are being incredibly annoying, especially when there's a double drop. Now, a double drop might have enough, pack enough of a punch to outright kill this Defiler Mound finally, and he is taking the advice I gave, trying to go down this way, but not doing it with the medics on the bottom. Swarm might be able to protect the Zerglings, but it's not going to protect the Defiler Mound. And now, yeah, this is a place where Zerg would have to wrap all the way around to attack these. But still, in the end, I mean, Elmaster is still managing to hold this, whereas a lot of other Zergs would have definitely been dead. He wants to not lose this Defiler, he loses the Defiler. Now, if we see some great micro from Dark Matter, he might still be able to get this Defiler Mound. But no, it looks like he's opting to go for the drones, which is still a good choice here. And at the same time, he's pushing at the front. I mean, this game has been, really highlighting the multitask capabilities of some of the stronger players in our, what's it called? Are you serious, Elmaster? Are you serious right now, bro? That's the plan? Oh my god. But you lose your Defiler Mound. Oh, that's so brutal. Oh, and he lost the spawning pool. Yeah, I didn't. I barely even noticed that. Yeah, Dark Matter, good pick up there with the spawning pool. And with vessels parked here, really not much that Elmaster can really do, I don't think. One thing that I would suggest for Dark Matter is to build bunkers up here, especially as you're transitioning to mech. You want to keep the existing bio you have alive as long as possible. Um, wow, Eraser in the main. Damn. Okay, wait. I guess one of the Scourge died. Yeah, it might have died due to irradiate, but now Elmaster is on like no drones almost, and this is gonna be an incredibly tough spot. He can only make lurkers. He can't make. He can only make lurkers and Scourge and Mutalisks. So yeah, this is all she wrote. Very nicely played by both players, really. Definitely some key mistakes from Elmaster that really changed the tide of this game. But very well played overall by Dark Matter. It was a dominating performance, I think. And I think Elmaster is a little bit, he's not trying, he's not letting go. And that wraps that up. Whew. All right. So let's talk about that game. Uh, Two of the best players in the league for sure. Yeah, as Faust said, Dark Matter is a very solid player for being in CPL. I would rate him top three players. The thing is, he is in the top three players. He's second by stats. And in terms of skill, I think he's top three, top five without a question. Um, Elmaster is really good too. It just his stats didn't really show it. I think it might be him just getting used to Zerg and not having as much time to practice. But let's talk about that game. So Elmaster, the macro from Elmaster, as I mentioned before, it was kind of questionable. I mean, he wasn't hitting all the right timings, but his unit production seemed to be generally decent. Um, so I would say the macro was, I mean, you can't really fault the macro for what it was. That's more of a build order issue, like where your buildings are being made late. So the macro was good. The micro definitely left a lot to be desired. I think he lost so many mulas, got them injured so often early on. He wasted about 24 Zerglings towards in the first engage outside the base of Dark Matter. Stuff that could have helped him flank the enemy unit army a lot sooner and maybe had more left over later on. Um, yeah, so in general, the micro I just really didn't think was really that great there throughout that whole game. A lot of control mistakes. He did have that one nice flank, so there was some redeeming qualities as well. The swarms were the ones that weren't comical were decently placed and well used with the lurkers and lings. So overall, I would give it like it's less than what I would expect from Elmaster, to be honest with you, but I think it's a average performance, a C performance. Now, in terms of strategy, I mean the strategy was standard. It should have been pretty cut and dry. But as chat mentions, I think that he did make a few links too many and threw away too many of them in the beginning. The build, I really do think that the defilers were later than they should be, and the third was later than they should be. I can't tell where he messed that up. I didn't manage to catch that, but there were some definite mistakes in there. And I think that's what really contributed to his loss at the end there. So if I would suggest that he look into that replay himself and try to find out exactly where he missed this, he missed that. Um, Also, the part of the reason why the third hatch was late, I think, is because the Hydras weren't there and the Lurker upgrade was late too. So definitely a lot of mistakes in the build order section for that um, to examine. But the fact that he stayed alive, even with all that delayed, and still managed to hold off, almost pushed back for a little bit, you have to give credit where credit's due. I'd give that a C plus. Now, in terms of swag, there really wasn't much swag. There was that one lurker flank that came out pretty good. Um, yeah, and I couldn't find anything else that I could give credit for. So that was just a middling performance, a C, an average C. Now let's talk about Dark Matter. Dark Matter's macro, very good. He dropped it a couple of times I saw, and he just pumped 5 Marines in each barracks. But there was definitely a lot of like you don't want to do that all the time. It's better to have that flash style, the barracks always flashing. Um, I think the third base could have been a little bit earlier, and I think that he could have either added racks or added factories a little bit earlier as well. Generally, when you do the transition, I'm pretty sure you do it when you move out with that three tank three tank, one vessel push, that's when you start thinking about transitioning to the factories or adding barracks because you're going to be taking your third soon. But he ended up not doing really any of the above for quite some time. So for macro, I would give him a B plus because he was still spending his money quite well. Um, micro, the micro was good. I mean, there was some places where he could have done it better that I pointed out throughout the game, but I wouldn't say that it was ever outright bad. It was, some either decent micro or he kind of just left the units. He's like, okay, fuck it, those are gonna die. So I'm gonna have to give him a B plus for those as well. Good control throughout, but it was also a lot of Elmaster throwing it at him. So uh, and let's see, for the strategy, strategy was clean, except for, as I said, the late transition. So that the build, like I said, build kind of applies both to macro and to strategy because your build is reliant on you being familiar with the strategy and the timings, and it's reliant on you being good at macro. So if your build is bad, I think it often affects both the macro and the strategy grade at least. So, but overall, still pretty decent. I'd give it a B, just because of his own lateness on some of the things that he was doing. And I would like to see bunkers in front of the third base. I would like to see mines on the map a lot sooner, just in case. We saw that Elmaster towards the end there was planning on doing some sort of backstab towards the third base, and while there were Marines there, with a Defiler and Lurker and some Lings, mines would be what stops it, not the bunker, not the Marine, not the medic. So I would give him a B for that. And in terms of swag, the dropship play was nice. Could have been executed a little bit better, but I like the fact that he did it at all. I have to give credit for that. It's definitely something that I would like to see a lot more Terrans do in the TVZ matchup in this league and from our players. So I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. Give it a B minus for swag. So that wraps up that game. Now, yeah, sorry, Evil Eye. The early cast is because today I have pretty much off and I have a lot of stuff to do later. So do look forward. I hope you look forward to. I look forward to you giving me feedback for this cast. So in the meantime, though, let's give that game a grade. I mean, those were two of the best players in the league playing a pretty decent game. I mean, they showed like a fundamental understanding of what they're supposed to do in the game. So you have to reward them for at least doing that much, and then also give credit to Dark Matter making it entertaining with the dropship play. Elmaster at least attempting to do some interesting things, failing some of the time, but overall I would give this game a 3.5 stars just because it could have been less if it was less dominant and Elmaster pulled through a little bit more, held on a little bit longer. I think we really could have been in for something special there, but unfortunately, it is what it is, and it actually happened like I think like a month and a half ago. So it is what it is. I'm going to center this a little bit because I'm a little bit. You know what? No, I don't care. All right, so now we're moving into Laser Snipe versus Evil Eye. It's gonna be the Storm Drop game. I'm not gonna cast the whole game all over again because I think we did a pretty decent job last time, but I am gonna get to that point and. If anyone's here on Discord wants to just yell loudly when I cast it, I think you know what? Actually, no. I have everything planned out already. So we're gonna jump into that game right now. I'm gonna put up the Brood War before I switch there, just to make sure I don't mess up. All right. So for those of you who didn't see the game in question and who don't know much about the players, this is between the Laser Snipe, who is the organizer of the league, and Evil Eye, who is the #1 player in the league. But despite coming from such disparate backgrounds, the one thing that holds them together is that they're both 100 APM Protoss players. And I mean, if you think about it, you saw Dark Matter playing, and Evil Eye actually beat Dark Matter. Dark Matter is a really good player. So both players very good, but because of the fact that they're both 100 APM, they have kind of similar, very straightforward, standard build styles and play styles. So yeah, so it was definitely a pleasure to cast. I invite you guys to look into the broadcast itself, like the main broadcast, where we did catch a lot of drops. But in a game where one player opened with speed shuttle, you're bound to have a lot of dropships flying around the map all over the place. Game was really tight actually. Laser Snipe a little upset that he didn't what's it called that we didn't catch the storm drop in the first place. So now we're just really honestly, I'm just gonna park over here, and when I see the blobs coming. It probably would have been better if I had checked ahead of time first, to be honest with you. But let's see. Let's see how close his shuttle is. All right, here's the first shuttle. Let's actually just track this shuttle. Oh no. Oh, wait. Was this where the storm drop was? Did I just miss it? I, oh, I think. Was it? Okay. Okay. I think this might. I don't know if this is going to be the one, but if it is. Damn, I missed it. I missed the timing. But I think there is going to be another one, so we are gonna go. We are gonna do that. Give me 1 second. Go back to that time slot. Yes. Okay. Okay. So we are gonna see another drop. I'm sure of it, because I remember checking his mineral line at one point, and there was just no probes there. So I'm gonna try to pay a little bit closer attention to that. In the meantime, I mean, I feel like Evil Eye did the right thing. You're supposed to keep your obs out here to notice, but because of them being lower APM players, I feel like they don't have the attention to the spare attention to provide to the minimap as much. So drops are more likely to be effective against them. In the meantime, where is this other shuttle that we were supposed to be tracking? I don't think that that was the one that we saw earlier. Here it is. Okay, it actually has 2 Reavers in it, so it looks like it's going to be a battle first. And the big storm drop is going to come later. But let's just look at this battle too, because it's really hard for me to fathom how Laser Snipe didn't manage to bust here. Like, first things first, obviously I think it's because he let the Dragoons clutter the ramp a little bit. Second of all, the Reavers could have been up here way sooner. After the first wave of goons showed up, you could just drop the Reavers and use them to take out the cannons. In the meantime, oof. Okay, nice snipes from both players on the Reavers, but still, like, okay, nice storm here from Laser. Let's see, another nice. Yeah, this is exactly why it's hard to hold on to these bases. The storms from Lasers are doing really a lot of work here, but looks like it's because of the Archons, I have to say, and the fact that the +1 is there already for Evil Eye. He's a very upgrade heavy player, so he made the gains first, and ultimately, it is good to have Templar, but Archons are really good too. Was that from Elm? I think that was Laser Snipe making that storm, honestly. I'm sorry, Evil Eye. Anyway, so he does manage to hold on to that Nexus, and yeah, you can see more of these games later. And whoa. This is a risky. Yeah, I was about to say, bro, you're gonna lose that shuttle, man. And I believe that third base goes down. So there is going to be a storm drop here, though. I know there is. Nice storm here. I think Evil Eye kind of pushed his advantage too far here. He didn't have enough to take out a base, I don't think. All right, here's the shuttle. Here's the shuttle. We're going to follow this shuttle. This is what we're doing now. We're going to make sure that this shuttle, that we don't miss this storm drop. Everything else on the map, be damned, we're not missing this storm drop a second time. And yeah, this has to be the one. I mean, look how many probes are transferring over here to this one's going to be a juicy one. I'm willing to wait for this. Maybe not wait too long, though. I think he just defended, Evil Eye just defended his 4th down there. Alright, okay, so here we go, here we go. He's thinking about it. He's summoning his 90 APM to think about it. Cannons are being thrown down. It's going to be a little bit harder to get in soon. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Yes, alright, here we go. Storm! Alright, so yeah, Elmaster did it. Fuck, I fucked it up. Laser Snipe did it. Laser snipe. That's what that one's gonna be cut out of the highlight later. But yeah, laser snipe did the storm drop. Very nice storm drop. But in the meantime, he does lose his third base here. So kind of a brutal trade for him. I want to see where the rest of these. If he's gonna do it again, that might be worth looking at too. You also have to think about, what it says about you as an observer who's watching a replay for the second time, but you're not fast enough to keep up with a 90 APM player. I mean, I guess I don't have hotkeys, but Laser Snipe, he's for 90 APM, he's doing quite a lot on the map. Dropping, taking bases, harassing. Let's see if this drop ever does come though. Nope, never mind. I take it back about Laser Snipe doing way too much for 90 APM. He's doing just about right. I mean, unless those Templar were like at literally zero energy, only then would this make sense. But yeah, does he just forget about these Templar here? Does he? Maybe. Also, yeah, okay. Oh, oh. Nice reaction there from Evil Eye. He did save most of the probes, only lost a couple in the mineral line. So yeah, that's done. Tick that one off the agenda. Let's see what. So now, I'm going to be doing. What is it called? I'm going to be doing the replay analysis. I'm going to be showing you guys how to find build orders and stuff like that from your games. I mean, your pro level games that you're trying to learn from. You have to have the ability to understand what is going on. So I'm going to start that in about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to take a quick break. Going to write that in here. Let's see. 5 to 10 minute. I'm going to say 5 minute break. Then Bisu. We're going to do in Bisu and Shugo rep analyses. Alright, I'll be right back, and I'm going to put on some tunes for you guys to enjoy in the meantime. And yeah, enjoy. All right, guys, welcome back. Well, actually, I guess I'm saying welcome back to myself, but we are now going to be looking at the replays, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to analyze the replays from professional gamers, and how to really use the information that's presented there. So, without further ado, let me test my notepad. Notepad is there, good. And so is the boudoir. So, going into the boudoir, let's see. Okay, pro. And just for record, these are all going to be PVZ replays, and actually a lot of these replays are going to be including one of the coaches of this league. His name is his name is Laser Slave. His name is Dragon. He's a really high-level foreigner. He plays Zerg versus Protoss, even though he's a Protoss main. So I feel like he gets a better understanding of the matchup than some Zerg mains do, simply because of the fact that he plays on both sides of it. And the here, yeah, I think that Deska is probably him, and maybe it's not. Who knows? And our hero, our Protoss hero for the week, for the day, is going to be Shugo, who is a guy who co-commentated with us. He's an A-level player. Um, Plays a lot on Fish, very active, and plays against Dragon a lot. But we're going to be looking at it purely from his perspective, just so that we can really feel what it's like to be in his shoes as he's playing. And at the beginning, we're just going to look at exactly when. Okay, so first note, when does he send the probe? This probe was about here. So what I would do is I would go to the notepad. Let's see, where's my notepad at? Yes, here we go. Okay, so game one is Shugo versus Deska. All right, so first thing I would put is at 80% probe. At 80%, and let's look at what supply we're at. Yeah, 7-9, and it's about to be 8-9. So 7-9 at 80% probe, send to natural. All right, so a lot of the time you see like just stuff like 8 pylon, 10 forge, 12 gate. You don't really get the feel for when you send that. It's really important to look at exactly when that is. So I'm going to show you guys what I typed up. At 80% of the probe, send to natural. Now we're going to go back to the replay. Alright, so this probe is going to make a pylon. Sometimes what I like to do is when I'm looking at the at where pros place their pylon, I would print screen later, and so to make my own kind of Word document, but Word is a little bit messier to work with. So first thing we'll notice is that he builds the pylon, mines a mineral first. Now this might be just because of the fact that he's very familiar with how Dragon plays. I'm sure he's going to return with this after he builds the gateway or forge or whatever. He's not actually going to go scout with his first probe, so that's very interesting. I mean, Shugo is already a low scouting player. Like, he says he doesn't scout in PvP and PvT at all. But it looks like he's going to build the gateway or forge. It's going to be a question. It looks like it's going to be gateway. He's actually going to build it here. Yeah, this is acceptable. So, since we're learning from good people, people who are better than I, you have to consider the fact that they sometimes do things that you won't be able to get away with, or they do things against certain players that you wouldn't be able to get away with if you're just doing it on ladder against D-level players. But in the interest of preserving the purity of what we're doing, of recording exactly what Shugo does and analyzing the reasons why he does it, we're going to record it exactly as it went down, and then we can discuss whether it makes sense for us to do it or not. So at 10, 18, gateway, and we're going to add a note here that he mine mineral, stay in natural. Okay. Gateway and then scout. Okay, so let's go back to the game. And I'm sure, although I'm sure that these are really good games, we're only going to go through the build itself to what's called to see what the players are going through and what they're thinking. Did I mute this? Oh no. just transitioned. All right, so one thing that you'll note here is that the first thing he did was he scouted down here to check for the overlord. So he scouted the near third to check for the overlord, and he immediately, let's see which way he goes after that. Okay, that's at 11. All right. I'm curious as to why he mined. I guess it's if the reason why he mined the middle must be so that he can press he can click 1 and C to send it back to his main base really quickly. Because what C does is it does return cargo. So if he's getting attacked by lings and he gets an attack notification from over here when he's doing something else in his base, and his probe is hotkeyed as 1, he can just click 1C, and the probe will automatically mineral walk all the way back to his nearest nexus. So I think that that's worth noting, those two things that we just saw. Let's see. So Gateway Scout to, I guess, counterclockwise third. And don't see Overlord. Scout. CC opposite corner, it looks like. Now, and see, he says mine mineral here. I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna add a note 1C return cargo. That's going to be a note for us to understand conceptually, and hopefully we might be able to catch that soon enough. Now, going back to the game again. Oh, and I forgot to add that it was 11 pylon. And it's actually out of 17. I'm a bad player. I'm stupid. Okay. 11 out of 17 pylon next to Nexus. There we go. And I'm going to show you guys what I just typed in because I forgot to do that. Back to Brood War. Alright, so everything progressing standard so far. He's going to scout counterclockwise through the center. Interesting. Well, I guess it makes sense. So let's see what he sees and what he reacts with. Okay, so immediately we notice that he's not taking the straight route to the ramp. He's going to check behind the minerals first to see if the drone is hiding there or not. Which I like this move a lot. A lot of times Zergs hide their drone back here and then build the hatchery, which is also a good strategy in itself, but sometimes you do get caught that way. So let's add that note for scouting. Scout to counterclockwise third, scout opposite corner, and then we'll add another note. Add another note saying that check behind minerals. Okay. So we're up to 15 supply now. That's because he made a zealot at 13. So, and it's kind of important in my opinion to be precise, especially if you're just starting out. Just to see, just to keep everything in check, you know, not to skip over anything and then be caught in the middle of the game thinking, oh, what do I do? So let's go back and see what's going on next. He's going to see the Zerg, and we're going to find out what our Zerg ally is doing. He's going to see the Overlord and the Creep, so now he's aware. Okay, so what he scouts is 6 lings. Well, he sees 6 eggs, which means most likely, I guess, that it's lings, and or at least because it look. Let's think about this, right? So, if there's 3 eggs, that means he's either making something that takes a long time to build, which is like overlords, which he's not. There's no way he's making 3 overlords. Or that he was waiting for something to make those eggs and he made them all 3 simultaneously or really close to simultaneously. Now, the reason for that would be is because of this second overlord. If we look at the real full map real quick, we already know that this must be the second overlord, so it means it just recently finished. I'm willing to bet that long ago that it finished. So he was waiting for the overlord, and that means that the pool was done before the second overlord was finished. If we count the drones, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, I forgot we have to turn it off the everybody view. We see gas, so that means that it is going to be a what's called we're going to expect the Zerg to go speed. So we have to deduce from this information that it's going to be 6 links coming out of here. However, in theory, he should just stay with the probe around here to scout around and make sure that it is going to be six slings coming out uh, at like in factuality. Meanwhile, so let's see what he does with the zealots, and let's see what he does in his main after this. He's gonna stay on the ramp. I guess he's gonna see how many lings do decide to come out, and he's going to yep. Here's the lings coming this way. I guess in case the drone went to make the hatchery first. Oh wow, that's he kind of goofed up there, let the probe die for no reason. But he did see the six lings. He's keeping his first zealot right there, and he's continuing to produce probes and zealots. So let's write that down so far. So now we know that it is. Let me see. One gate expand versus 9 pool speed. Is it 9 pool speed? No, it can't be 9 pool speed. It must have been overpool speed because that's what I was trying to get at earlier. So it has to be overpool speed, doesn't it? Because actually no. Yeah, because the Overlord was built at Overlord takes less time to build than a spawning pool. Overlord came out before or after the spawning pool. We didn't see the drone count, so I'm trying to conceptualize. So if the Overlord finished just around the time as the spawning pool, it means the spawning pool must have been begun before the Overlord. So yeah, so it's 9 pool speed. Clearly, guys, I'm a professional at this, but this is I'm just trying to highlight exactly what goes through my mind as I try to learn from these replays. So you find out. Okay, so C6 links. So the first thing he does is, I'll say A, keep zealot at pylon hole, and then at 50, was it 16 out of 7? Yeah, it was 16. Let's see, 16 out of what is he? He's probably at 20, I mean, 25 now, isn't he? Do we miss a pylon? Yeah, we missed a pylon. Shit, I'm stupid. Oh wait, no, that was the pylon that he made in his natural. Okay, I'm smart. Alright, so, so 16 out of 17. Actually, I'm gonna guess that it was 15 out of 17. No, it has to be 16 out of 17. He makes the zealot. And let's see what goes next. It's gonna be a forge at 19 out of 25. And it should be noted that the probe production is did I not show you guys? I'm so sorry. I'm messing up a little bit. So 19 out of 25 forge, and let's see. I guess we should I'll put the note here. Keep zealot at pylon hole. B, constant probe production. Which is kind of implied for a lot of builds, but sometimes it's not exactly true. So let's get back into the game. He's gonna send this. He has to send this probe out to scout, doesn't he? No, he's gonna just wait. Okay. I would say he pulled that probe at around 20. It's hard to keep track. We could rewind a little bit. Okay, good. All right. Let's see when he went. I mean, yeah, I guess he already pulled that. So, let's see. Okay. $19 out of 25. Send probe to forge. This is one of the key. Was one of the elements that we missed. To make forge. I would put this on that side. Send probe to make forge. He lost one of his probes right here, so it went from 19 to 18. But we should continue counting, I think, in the way that if the probe had not died. That's what would be the correct way to do it, unless at some point it interferes with pylon counts or something like that. But we can just make a note scouting probe lost. Now, let's go to back to the game. All right, so yeah, so 19 out of 25, he makes the forge. I'm just gonna, because of the node, we can keep track of that. Forge, and then 20 out of 25, send probe to natural for walling. Okay. '22 pylon. And we'll make a note that Zerglings arrive cross positions. CP. CC would be, let's say, counterclockwise. Scout. Now, okay. Also, always important to save your work. I'm gonna do that right now. So we'll call this broadcast replay. No, let's call it PVZ build analysis. All right. So one thing that's important to note about this is that we're not only looking at the build, we're looking at the reason for the build, the situation of the build, the adaptation inside the build. Like for example, setting the second probe to the natural for walling. That's what really separates analyzing this way away from how you read it on Liquipedia, for example. Um, oh shit! Go go gecko talking trash. I'm sorry. I have to take a break. I heard the caster sucked at your letters. Yeah. So one second. I have to inform my buddy Gecko real quick about the fact that it is up on Liquipedia because he is blaspheming. What was that? Who dat? Oh, people are messaging me. Okay. Anyway, so sorry. Back to the build. Why don't I put up the build on Liquipedia? Because I am explaining how people learn builds from pro replays. And I'm an editor. You're the one that suggested that I become editor. The reason why I'm doing this is because the reason why I'm doing this is to show people how they can find the builds out themselves, and to see the fact that not all builds work in all situations. So certain builds are better or reactionary to others, to certain situations, or how you modify your build to the situation that you scout. For example, 9 pool speed in this case. So put an article on explaining build orders then. Yeah, nah, I'm not doing that. That's too much work. I could just upload this VOD and say that that was my explanation. All right, going back to the matter at hand though. 22 of 25 pylon at natural. So I guess this is to add support to the gates at the front. So let's go back to the game. Yeah, pylon at natural, and we don't need to be going to. All right, so here's going to be micro, which is I think situational, or highly situational. Like, you don't, the way you micro might not, this might be not the best micro in the world, or maybe you're not comfortable walking out of your base, but we should make a note that he moves the zealots and a probe out to prevent the gateway from getting attacked. So, and he throws down the cannon at 23 out of 25. Probe production is still constant, kind of dropping the APM a little bit. Alright, so 23 out of 25 cannon, and oops, I didn't want to do that. So Cannon, we're gonna spell that one properly. Gecko, you can keep complaining. I don't care. The and the note is send two zealots out to defend gateway. There we go. All right. Yep. Okay, so just some micro going on here. Continue to make zealots. Oh, be careful, don't get surrounded. The cannon is done now, the Lings leave. 27 out of 33 we're at, and zealot production is cut, so let's say at 27 out of 33, cut zealot production, make Nexus. That's what we're going to be doing next. Let's see if we cut the pro production for that as well. Because, oops, I think I forgot to show you guys that I just typed that in, so I'm going to show you now while I look to see if he's making probes. No. So yeah, 27 cut probe slash zealot production. Good. I'm going to show one more time just in case. Now back to the game, and at 400 we're going to make the Nexus. 400 Nexus, and then yeah. So 27 out of 33. Nexus, 27 out of 33 probe. I guess we can just go 27, 3 Nexus probe there. Alright. And then I'm gonna guess that Zealot comes next. Actually, I'm not gonna guess. That's the point. We're gonna find out. Maybe he's gonna go for Cyber, or I will guess technically. All right, let's see what he does off for it. If he spends that 100, Zealot? No. Okay, he does make a Zealot. So 28 out of 33 Zealot. Does he make the Zealot? Yeah, he does, but he's, I guess, a little bit late on making the cannon here, the gas here. So we have. Wait, what? I mean, it's at 29 out of 33 now, so he must have canceled the probe and made a Zealot instead. Is that what happened? And then I guess he's gonna go for 29 out of 33 assimilator. Because you need that gas. If you have to note that the Protoss hasn't been able to scout this whole time ever since he lost his scouting probe, so. Alright. Moving onwards. 29 out of 33 assimilator. Good, good. Save that. Now back to the game. Oops, did I do back to the game? Good. Alright, back to the game. 29 out of 33 is going to see the assimilator. Now we're going to resume probe production. Yeah. Assimilator. Resume probe production. Yeah, so I'm satisfied with this so far. Let's go a little bit further. After this, after we see some the major timings for stuff like Citadel +1, Stargate, I feel like after that we can kind of skip forward a little bit until we see something like Templar Archives or the first interaction. In the meantime, though, yeah, let's go back to the game. I'm just gonna keep mental check from now. 30-33 pylon. Pro production still constant. 31 out of 33 zealot and move out. Okay, so I might not be able to do this because my memory sucks, but 30 out of 33 pylon, 31 out of 33 zealot. Uh, and now we move out, what was it, 5 zealots. Move out 5 zealot, 1 probe. Nice. He got some surrounds in there that were really good. Definitely did a lot of damage with that. So I imagine the probe is to add a little bit more surface area. And I also want to note that he still has 2 probes blocking the hole just in case. So that might be, or at least just 1 probe blocking the hole. So that might be important to note as well. Okay, A. Surround Zerglings. B. Damn it. Leave probe for SimCity. As you can imagine, this is a lot easier on window mode, but because of the fact that I already have to do scene switcher and stuff like that, like, I figured I might as well just keep it max and maxed. But, so yeah, he's moving across to the enemy base. Nexus is finishing up, 35 out of 41. Oh fuck, we missed it. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back just a tiny, incy bit. 436. We're at 33 out of 33. Cybernetics course should be starting now. Yeah, 33 out of 41 Cybernetics course start. Okay. Cybernetics course starts. Three on gas. Did I not? Yeah, I didn't do that. Let's make a note that it's 3 on gas. Okay. Without cross positions. CP is not child point, it's cross positions. Just a heads up. What was next? Let's find out. I think it was 3541 cannon. Yeah, 3541 cannon. Yeah, now he has a zealot to block this ramp here, so of this gap here. So, is he gonna run away? 3541 cannon. Yep. Okay. 3541 cannon. Just specify at nat just in case, like leave no ambiguity. Okay, play. So we get to the natural. What do we see? Sunken colony and 8lings. Sunken 8lings, second gas. Oops. 8lings, second gas. Okay, so we don't really know what that is yet. I guess we'll find out later. I think that he probably knows better than we do, so his reactions from here is probably going to be decent. Excuse me. So let's see what he goes after this. He runs away. Stays at the natural. Ooh, does he see the Zerglings going that round? He should be, yeah. But his SimCity is tight, so he should be okay. Now let's see, Nexus is up. So far we haven't built anything of note except another pylon. Oh no, is that another pylon? It must have been the Nexus finishing, yeah. Okay, so let me drink some more water. My mouth's getting dry as fuck. Alright. Let's say A, retreat. B, stay on ramp. C, Lings exiting to third. Thank you. Okay, so going back to the game. This game has been like hella eventful. You know, like normally you can kind of write these build orders a lot easier, I feel like, but now it looks like we're gonna do 42 out of 50. Gateway. Alright, so we're going aggressive, boys. We're going aggressive. Okay, 42 out of 50. Second gateway, which is kind of strange of a choice. I think I expected a cybernetics or tech of some sort, but because he did go for the I mean, I'm sorry, not cybernetics, a citadel of some sort. But here we are going for the second gateway, and it looks like we're moving back into natural. Let's leave that question mark just in case we want to fix that later. Go back to the game. Ooh, I see what he's trying. Okay. I knew that that probe was going to be interesting. Okay, so try to probe scout. Loose probe. Push will go. Okay. Okay, we can just assume that he's going to be microing here. Okay, he actually busted in. Okay, so Hydra with Lurker. I mean, he has to know it's Lurker at this point. So robotics, okay. Is he gonna cancel Zealots? No, he's not. Okay. We have to note that it was only oh shit, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I forgot to switch it back. But take my word for it. You know what? Actually, I'll just show you guys. If you look over here, he was just fighting here with his 3 Zealots. He busted up the ramp with his 3 Zealots, killed some Lings here, made it out here, killed a few more Lings. Came and saw the Hydra den. Now, one thing that's important to note here is that even in his death vision, he sees that the Hydras are out now. Now, what this is indicative of, is that normally Zergs wait until about halfway through the Lurker upgrade to spawn the Hydralisks. And this is because that way they finish at around the same time. So he should know that the Lurker upgrade is just about to finish. It's not uh, like even if he has some sort of innate timing built into him where he knows exactly when Deska is gonna get that what's called that Lurker upgrade, we can determine it based on when the Hydras pop out as well. Because more often than not, he's not gonna make the Hydras prematurely, just to kill those zealots. In the meantime, so we see instantly the reaction 37 out of 50. I think at this point we can kind of stop using supplies exactly and use more the order of things in which they are made. So at this point we can say that it's clearly that the robotics was built first, then the +1. So that's a reaction to the Lurker, a very quick reaction at that. And the reason why we can stop using the Zealots, the supply in general, is because he it's because he lost a lot of zealots. You know, I mean, like sometimes you're not going to lose that many, sometimes you won't make that many. Who knows? But at this point, we can say that at scouting, Hydra, make robotics. Oh, your letters. Wait, wait. How did you? Did you just copy everything that I wrote? Why didn't you just ask me to copy and paste for you? I don't get that. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that it's difficult. I'm saying that it's not cleaned up. You know, it's ugly. I'm not gonna go through all the trouble of cleaning it up myself. I'm making it so that other people can do it for themselves. And this isn't a pro level replay, so uh, you know, this is a high level replay, but not pro. And I don't think it's anything that I can safely say is like, oh, this is what you do. I guess you could put it as an addendum to an existing thing. Like if you're already going for gateway first and you scout this, then this is the situation. But isn't it better just to link the VOD in that case or the replay? So it's I guess it's debatable like which way to do it, but this one definitely takes work. Okay, so anyway, back to the game at hand. Let's see. Make robotics, then plus +1 ground. All right, now we're gonna be pretty much going for like I said, no more supplies, just going for the order of things made. +1. Let's see. Okay, third gate. Third gate. Probably going to see range and stuff like that next, I'm going to guess. It seems like he's going to skip Templar altogether, but we'll find out. Is he going to add anything here? I heard something go swoosh, whoosh, 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 whoosh. Oh, pylon. Second gas. Good call. Okay. Second gas. Begin Dragoon. Dragoon before range. Okay. Let's just... Alright, I can remember one Dragoon. Alright, I can remember. And pylons are obviously added as needed, I think. I think at this point that's kind of self-evident. Pylons as needed. Cannon in the main. Okay. That's interesting to note. So, second gas, cannon in the main. Let's see when range is. No range yet, still. Second gas, cannon in the main. Fuck. Cannon in the main minerals. This is probably to prevent drop. Okay, got that down. Alright. So, let's go to the next thing that we're going to see. Alright, cannon in the main. I expect to see range sometime soon, honestly. No, Dragoon production, Dragoon production. I forgot to make a note of that, didn't I? Robotics. Okay. Sorry, observer. Okay. Second gas. Third gate, Dragoon production. Okay, observatory. So this is all pretty straightforward now. He sees the lurkers coming his way. He's gonna try to react to that. 3 lurks, 4 lurks actually. Holy shit. Deska being mad trolly about it. Wow, that lurker. Ooh. Oh my god, does he lose it? Wow, get played. And yeah, I'm sorry earlier for saying Dragon. It's actually Deska that was playing. I forgot that that's actually in a player, unless Dragon is smurfing. So Dragoon production's on the way. It's no range yet. Looks like he hasn't started mining a second gas. That might be holding him back. Observer. We should make a note that the first observer is like observer, cannon, cannon, observer. Yeah. Gateway gets busted. Observer, still no range. That's what we're looking for, really, is when the next tech comes out. So actually, oops. Actually, since we know that he made the observer as soon as possible, we can say at 100% observer. Okay. Okay, 4 gate. I'm going 4 gate Dragoon. Did I show you guys that? Four gate. Fourth gate. Oh, but he lost the one in the front. So third gate. Remake in main. Good. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. 3 on nat gas. I guess we'll put it before this. Okay. You know what? It's better to do this way. Alright, so gateway gets busted by lurkers. 4. Gateway gets busted, and his reaction is replace third gate in main. That's B. A. Cannon in front. Alright, so moving on. Did I just miss something? No. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be constant Dragoon production. Range. Finally, we get range. Dragoon range. Okay. And now, yeah, now the game should be progressing a lot further. I think he's going to probably go all in with these Dragoons. Gonna try to protect. Ooh, actually there's a decent amount of Hydras now too. Are they slow still? Yeah, they're slow. No range, I don't think. Oh, moved out, killed a... 2 observers move out, okay. I wonder if he's gonna win this game, to be honest with you. At this point. 2 obs, move out. Flank with zealots. Okay. Let's play. What the fuck? Why do you leave his observers behind? You dum-dum. +1 finishes. So I guess he was trying to stall until +1 finished, but +1 never finished. Wow, added 2 more gateways. Okay. Add 2 gateways and Citadel. That's kind of important. Wait. Yeah. Add 2 gateways. +1 finishes. Add 2 gateways. Citadel of Adun. Okay. Play that shit. Transition to Zealot production. Okay. Should make a note of that. Okay, we see Hydra, slow Hydra. Alright. Dun dun dun. Alright. Almost there. Another gateway, wow. I mean, he is gonna be getting rich soon. Ooh, that was a tough engage. Let's see how this ends up first. Ooh, clean the fuck up. Word. That's my boy Shugo. Word. +1 armor. Interesting choice, but I guess it's because he doesn't have Templar Archive. So let's go. Okay, +1 gateway, +1 armor at Forge. Let's see if he's getting speed. No speed. Alright, let's go. Oh, he just started speed. He almost tricked me. Is this probe gonna make a third? Ooh, okay. Okay. Zealot speed. Pylon at third. And it looks like he's moving out. Move out. Okay. Phew. This is tough. I haven't done this in a while. Moves out directly to the third. No Templar archives should be noted. Excuse me. Not the best of engages here, but he's gonna win so handily. Oh shit. Oh shit. That's fucked up. With the bad manners in there. Jesus Christ. Typical classic Shugo though. Classic Shugo. Is he gonna just leave? Yeah, it's gonna be a leave. You think you are good, Deska? Good answer. Damn. Alright. So it looks like after that he was trying to build 2 cannons at the third. Okay, so what can we say about that? After that he goes, go to third, go to Zerg third, wreck face, add 2 cannons, plus 2 cannons at own third. Alright, we're done. Alright, now we have to start thinking about what we accomplished here so far, right? So let's look at it. So we know that this is specific to 1 gate expand versus 9 pool speed. Um, now, just in terms of the like, depending on how poor you are at this game, I guess. Well, I don't. I mean to say this in the nicest way. Like something like this could be actually really helpful to you, knowing that it's at 80%. He sends the probe to the natural. He mines a mineral first after building the pylon. Oh, I forgot to add. Yeah, we have to do stuff like this. 8 out of 9 pylon. Mine mineral, 1C to return cargo. He didn't actually end up doing this, but I imagine that that is the reason why. Otherwise, he wouldn't just send a probe to mineral to donate like that. Stay in the natural. Then he makes the 10 gateway. Scout to counterclockwise third. Don't see Overlord there. Scout cross position. This is what I was talking about during the broadcast and during a lot of the other broadcasts I do. How people can sometimes check the base in between them and these are cross position. I mean counterclockwise. Yeah, counterclockwise. Now, and these are pretty much straightforward, right? But it's this is when it starts getting interesting. He sees the 6 links. That's when this part of the build is revealed. 9 pool speed. That's why if you do this enough, you'll see 1 gate expand versus I don't know, overpool versus 12 hatch. If you look at good players, you'll be able to make a catalog of these builds. Now this is everything after this point. This is why we made this note. Is that this is the reaction. Like this is how he reacted to what he saw. This is what is like the bulk of the alterations to the build that he made in order to survive, right? Pro P reduction, pro production, and the rest. I mean, I feel like we just did it, so you guys probably have it fresh in your memory. All of you that are still here. um, I think the key really came into was when he got in and he saw that it was Hydra. This is really up until this point. I feel like this is the reaction to if you're blind, and now this was the reaction to the next set of things that he saw right here. when he sees the Hydralway, when he sees the Hydralisks. And I should add that in there. I said, uh, yeah, lose probe. He loses the probe, but he bust ramp, sees Hydra Den. That's important to remember. So I feel like up until this point, he was kind of he could have at this point added Stargate instead of robotics, which he does shortly after. Make robotics right here. Instead of doing this, he could have made Stargate or double Stargate even, as we saw Elmaster do earlier. Excuse me. Because this is actually it could have been a Mulus build, but he managed to find that out using the Zealots that he busted the ramp with. So this is something that's important to note. So I would say that I'd go to the top, 9 pull speed to Lurker. And I think it was 2. I don't know if it was 2 base or 2 hatch. You would have to go back to find out. But I'm gonna say, I mean, 2 hatch or 3 hatch. But I know it's 2 base. So I'm gonna put 2 base up here. Now, as you see more and more replays in this manner, you will be able to compile a big database of builds like this, and it kind of shows you, it kind of helps you understand why they made the decision that they made. That's what we're really doing. If we're looking for just numbers, if we cut out all these notes, you would look at this build and think like, what the fuck is going on? You're like, this makes no sense to me. Like, why did he go? Why did he make his I don't know, second pylon at the natural or something like that? It's because he wanted to have a backup pylon in case he does get busted or the pylon gets surrounded or the hydras range it or something like that. Or you might think of why did he know to go? How did he know to go to robotics? That's because at this point he scouted the Hydralisks. So this is how you kind of build up a library of builds and how you look at replays to really learn from them instead of just watching them as a movie. So I initially had the foolish notion of doing 7 of these. Like that's definitely not going to happen. What I'm going to do is I'll just upload them for homework. I'm going to do one from Shugo and I'm going to do one from Bisu now. So we'll move on to game 2. We'll call it game 2, Bisu versus Zero. It is, and I think I've seen this build before. And I think I'm not sure. I hope it's on Fighting Spirit. I think if it's not, if it's the Outsider one, I'm gonna go move on to the next. But let's see, and I'll upload what I did here onto Team Liquid. And unless Gecko decides to make both of these builds somehow, um, let's see. What's that? Was that so hard? 6 beers and you try to explain my rationale. Who's the idiot now? Are you operation under the assumption the build is good because Shugo won? No, I'm operating on the assumption that the build makes sense in the context because he won. That's one, and two because Shugo is a decent player. So it was kind of a combination of the two, and I wouldn't think that the build was bad if Shugo had lost. I would think that maybe it was an execution error, but it makes sense based on my own knowledge. For example, I know that Dragoons with range are good against Lurker. We also know that the Zerg is on relatively low economy and production based on the scouting that we got off on him and the fact that he did open with the 9 pool speed. So I'm just seeing how a good player reacts, and even if that's not the best build maybe or the most accurate interpretation of that build, because it seems like it's something that isn't as common, that not a situation that happens often, but it worked. It was a good enough reaction to for us to use it as our own backup reaction is what I'm trying to say. Obviously, if you perform this and you're terrible at the game, you're not going to have the same results as Shugo did, but it's something that you could, so that you're not in a position you can say, oh, I have no idea what to do here. It feels as if the analysis is only half. Well, if you want to offer the other half the analysis in chat, I'd be more than glad to hear it. But in the meantime, we are going to move on to game 2, and that's going to be Bisu versus Zero. Okay. Bisu versus Zero. Let's see, Fighting Spirit. This one's from 2014, so not as common, not as not as modern, but it's Bisu. You can't really go wrong with Bisu, I think. So let's see what's going to happen here. Soul of Fighter. Not Fighting Spirit. It's Soul of Fighter, by the way. Alright, so in the top left we have Bisu, the red Protoss. In the bottom left we have the orange Zerg, which is 0. So again, let's take off the vision. Oops, let's raise the tempo a little bit. Never mind, we have to count when he sends his probe. So, Proberino. Let's look at the percentages. 50, 60, 70, 70-ish percent. Yeah, so at 70-ish percent he sends the probe. Let's see how he scouts now. And as I said earlier, like he, stylistically speaking, Shugo is a late scouting Protoss in like it seems like all 3 matchups. So that's instantly something that we're not going to take into. That's something that we have to take into. That's something we have to take into consideration when looking at any of his replays. Now let's see this. Okay, he doesn't send that probe. So let's write that down already. What he did so far. That's already the difference in just the initial build order, which isn't really swayed by stuff like what's called like I don't think that knowing that it's 0, knowing that it's Deska. Actually, I guess that's exactly what would, but you know, ignore the past 30 seconds of what I said. Let's go to editing. Like when he attacks, he knows what he sees. Oh, you mean like, oh, so well, yeah, I don't think it is either. But oh, could be 3 hatch muta, 2 hatch hydra, 2 lurker bust, elevator, 2 base, 3 hatch muta. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what I said. The fact that it's him scouting, like it's only after he sees this that this is important, that this is the reaction. It's only after he sees this, where is it? This that he knows what to do next, so on and so forth. I never said that a Zergling Buster or Zergling Run By would be a good option. Anyway, let's go to yeah 7 out of 9 at 70% probe. And it also should be noted that maybe the travel distance is a little bit different from each main, from natural to main. 70% probe, send natural, send to natural. 8 out of 9 pylon. And like I said before, you could take a screenshot of the SimCity later on to kind of add it to your document. That's We're not going to be doing that here. He didn't mine the minerals, so since it's just in such close proximity to the last game, I would make the note like send to counterclockwise natural. And this is important also because he doesn't go to the counterclockwise third, he goes right to the natural. So I think that this is outright safer. Who's the target audience, by the way? Total scrubs or advanced players of the D plus to C range. I think that pretty much anybody could benefit from learning how to look at replays. There was a guy recently who asked, is like, oh, I don't know how to hotkey. Like, okay, maybe you should learn how to hotkey first before you start doing this. But this is more of like, this is, I think, a conceptual issue that people who are to the D plus C range still have, but that is better to nip in the bud early on. Is the fact that you go online, you go on Liquipedia, you find one build, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this build, and I'm gonna do it every game in every situation, and then when I lose, I'm gonna say that that's a shitty old build and that Liquipedia is outdated, and stuff like that. So I would say that it's a universally beneficial question to anyone who is not good at analyzing replays, which includes people who are up to like the CC plus range. I know people who, like, for example, Faust, maybe he's lying because his own rep analyses when he does it for the team are pretty good, but he's always like, I play like a dumb player, I'm just an APM player, you know, so yeah. So if you feel like you're one of those people, like I feel like this is a great way to expand your build sets, your understanding of the game. Anyway, going back to the game. Okay. He is going to, I think, is he going to find the Zerg first? Yeah, he's gonna get lucky here. He's gonna find Zerg first. Meanwhile, what was have see from Zerg? It's gonna be overpool. Yeah, so now we can clearly see that Deska did 9 pool speed before. I was being stupid as hell when I thought it wasn't. Just shows how bad I am at reading situations. So at this point, Bisu knows that it is overpool. Let's see what his reaction is. He hasn't sent a probe out to make the forge yet. Because he did get the first scout off. He is going to send the 11 out of, well, 12 out of 17 probe. So he's going to send it to the natural. Let's see what he makes out of that. Damn, this probe micro is so fucking sexy. Okay, and it's going to be a forge. And I want to note that the forge is inwards leaning, not outwards leaning. Like what we talked about with Elmaster in the previous game, he made the buildings outwards leaning, which makes them easier to snipe from Hydralisks, right? But it also gives you a more uniform cannon placement in the back. But if you go for inwards leaning, like this, right, then you have a better pocket for your cannons, and yeah, and it's harder to harder to snipe with hydras in the line, but it's still doable. But just interesting to note. So let's type that one in. And it's going to be 11 out of 12. No, it was 12 out of 17. He send probe to natural. 12, 17. Forge. Inwards leaning, I guess. Inwards, what would be the word? It's not skew. It's distortion? No, it's not distortion. Shifted inwards. Yeah, shifted inwards. Nah, it's not accurate either. Balanced inwards? Inwards facing, fuck it. Inwards facing is good enough. I hope that people see that and do it. Yeah. Okay, good. So moving on to the next thing. Go. People on Facebook need to stop hitting me up. Getting the hit up Reno. Okay, so he goes to the natural and he's gonna deny hatchery. He's gonna try to deny hatchery. Okay, alright. Okay, that's interesting actually. He decides to commit to the denial. Yo, people, what the fuck? Shut up. Mute that shit. I'm done. Alright. Okay, I muted it. I'm done with that shit. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. I am Russian. Петух. Пошел нахуй вообще, немец. Just kidding. So 12 out of 17 forge, and then at 14 out of 17 he pylon to block the natural. Oh shit. Pylon to block the natural hatchery. Okay. And it looks like he sent a probe out at probably around, yeah, 14. Okay, we should note that. Oh shit, what the hell is that? How do I have 56 wins and 73 losses? That makes no fucking sense. I didn't even play that many games. Oh well. So at 14 out of 17, he also sends pylon. 14, 17. Send probe to natural. 15 out of 17, cannon. Behind forge, as we predicted. Okay, cannon behind forge. Okay, and the note here would be that he mines mineral at natural. Okay. Oh, cancel pylon. Cancel pylon at Zerg natural, rather. Okay. continue scouting. Zerg main. He's gonna Zergling count. Yeah, that's important because you need to find out how many Zerglings there are before you make your cannon. Your second cannon, before you determine if you need a second cannon even. So he sees 2 lings, and he's not going to add a cannon, he's going to add a nexus. So that's 15 nexus. There's going to be 15 gateway after that, I'm sure. $15 nexus, 15 gates. Yo, 0 with that pro, 1 ling ramp hold. 15 nexus, 15 gate, 16 pylon. Interesting. I usually thought that pros would go for the gas first, but maybe he's going for zealot heavy composition. So this should be gas though. 16 gas. Okay. All right. So 15, 17 nexus. Oops. 15, 17 gateway. 16, 17 pylon. I think it was 16, 17 assimilator. Nope, 17 out of 17 assimilator. I'm dumb. I'll fix that next time. Okay, continuing to scout. And yeah, since I already demonstrated more or less like how you do the note taking and stuff from before, we're not going to do as much of that. I am feeling like I'm getting a little bit tired of talking all by myself, so we're just going to look at the build itself. Oops, we missed it. Okay, let's go back just a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So 18 out of 25. 18 out of 25 cyber. And this was 17 out of 17 assimilator. 18 out of 25 cyber. No zealot. Zealot at 19. Okay. Okay, so 17 out of 17 assimilator, 18 out of 25 cyber, 19 out of 25 zealots, and we're gonna go to like the first few Sarah, I guess. Let's see that. He knows that it's 3 hatch also, it should be worth noting, but he doesn't know that it's layer, I'm guessing. So that's gonna be the only kind of surprise factor here. Transfer probes at 90% of the nexus, almost always. It's gonna work. Good, good, good. 1 zealot on the way. 23. I'm gonna guess that he's gonna make another zealot and then Stargate. No, okay. 24. Yeah. Oh, okay. Assimilator then zealot. Interesting still. Okay. 24 out of what? 20. What was it? What? Huh? Is it 33 already? Has to be 33 already. Wait, no, it's not. 24 out of 25. Was it 20? Fuck. Was it 24 out of 25? I'm fucking stupid. Oh, yeah, it's out of 34 because of Nexus, and he went for similar than Zealot. Okay. 24 out of 34. Assimilator, number 2. 24 out of 34 Zealot. Move out. Okay. Alright. Moves out with the Zealot. He's going to force Lings with it. Cybernetics core is finished. He's still going to continue probe production, which I want to note. Oh, he cancels the probe. Makes the side Zealot. Okay. 26 Stargate. That's important to note. Okay. Good, good. Okay. Play. Still no +1. I thought that people would get +1 kind of earlier, but I guess not. Well, actually no, it has to be Stargate first. I'm fucking stupid. Haven't played this game in forever. I'm saying dumb shit. Also been talking for way too long, that's for fucking sure. Okay, probes. This Bisu probe is fucking legendary. All right, Zealot gonna go to the third. Second Zealot's gonna, and here's the Zealot harassment that we're so familiar with. No Citadel yet. +1 starts at 33 out of 44. It's actually more like at 100 gas. He started it. Okay. Oops. What's up, Granddad? You're towards the end, unfortunately, but that also means that it's gonna be up on Twitch soon enough. So we're gonna get there in a minute. What was that? 33 out of 34. He started the +1. Oh no, it was at 100 gas. +1. Okay, +1 attack. And at this point, again, we can stop keeping track of the order. I mean, stop keeping track of the supplies. Start thinking about the orders. So, from now, we're gonna make this note: 1 zealot to third, second zealot to nat. Fuck. Oh, okay. All right. Now we're just gonna look at the order of shit. And the reactions, of course. He's gonna see the Spire soon enough. Alright, so let's not miss the Citadel, though, because he should be getting the Citadel soon. 150, I think it's 150, 150 for the Citadel. Isn't it? Oh no, I guess he spent it on something. Corsair. Corsair is first, always first. You're right, Bisu, my fault. Next should be the Citadel. Yeah, okay. Alright, we'll make a note of that. At 100% Stargate, Corsair at 150, 150. Citadel. Probe is chilling. I like that use of the hide behind minerals. That's classic. Continuing Zealot production should be noted. Continuing Pylon production. Ooh, wait. +1 air. When did we miss that? A little bit before. Oh wow, he started it before the Stargate. This is why we do this. Okay. So let's see exactly when he starts it. Oh, okay. 32 out of 34 +1 air. Good thing we did that. Okay. 32 out of 34. Oh, the question is, did he do it before or after the +1 attack? Before +1 attack even. Holy shit. Okay, so we'll amend this to at 100 gas +1 air attack +1 ground attack. That's why everything fell a little bit off. But okay, got it. Let's go. Good, good, good. We can skip it to the when the Sarah's out. No, when the Citadel comes up. Continuous Sarah production, I'm gonna guess. He doesn't scout the main, which I find really curious. He should be going to the main, I think. Okay, at Citadel 100%. At 100% Citadel. Speed. Constant production. Okay. Nice piece. Nice. Fucking sexy. Okay. Cannon at the natural. Cannon at the main, rather. It's Templar Archives coming soon, or okay? Cannon at the natural. I think he could have gotten this Templar Archives earlier, to be honest with you. I mean, oh, he threw down a second gateway. That's why. Okay, makes a lot more sense. Okay, gateway Templar. Okay, got it. And he's probably maybe saving for the plus ones, upgrades to finish. Good. Okay, so then second gate at natural, Templar Archives, and I think he did make the cannon before. Mr. Steelio build. What up? I'm here though. Okay, and cannon in main. Okay. Oops, I haven't been showing you guys that. My fault. Alright, so yeah, that pretty much that is. Okay, and already we can kind of describe what this is. This is Forge a Fee versus Overpool Delayed Net. And we can specify second at third. Second at off third. I don't. Yeah, second at third. We can say that. Okay. Now. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Let's do a little bit more. See where it goes. Adds a cannon in the natural. I think that's just a reactionary thing at that point, though. Let's see what the rest of the build is. Gateway. Gateway. Yeah, add gateways and cannons as necessary. Okay, I'm gonna put that. Add gates. Gates. Gates plus cannons at nat as reactions allow, I guess. I think that's about it. I mean, we can see what he gets out of the Templar Archives, I guess. If he's getting Storm. No, no Storm. We need to see when he gets the Storm, though, probably. Or when Robotics is. In the meantime, I mean, we haven't been really looking at the Zerg, but we know it's going to be like 5 Hatch Hydra, most likely. Yeah, looks like it. Damn, Bisu, you scary. Oh, shit. Oh, he did like some Scourge micro shit there. I mean, Muta micro. He is getting Storm. No +1 on the ground yet, though. So Storm before +1 on ground, though. We need to note that. Okay. Maybe that was a mistake. Sato's build. True. True. So, this is actually Sato's broadcast, too. So, I mean, you can't steal from yourself, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so he got, what was it? He got Storm before +2 attack. And he got, what else was there? I feel like I missed something. Oh, he got a Dark Templar, true. Dark Templar. Okay. And I feel like that's enough now. Now we've really gotten to the point where adding any more is really situational based on, you know, all that shit. Um, but this is like, you know, seems like a solid, safe opener. Well, relatively safe opener against the Zergs that are playing a relatively safe and solid build themselves. So I feel like we've already accomplished enough here. I'm gonna finish out the rest of the replay just to see how. Actually, no, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm gonna post all these replays and all these builds and stuff in the thread, and then so you guys have access to the work we've done. So that about. I should have done this maybe earlier when there was more people online, more people who would see it. But in the meantime, let me show you. Yes, okay. We are going to. Nope, wrong way. Next week we are going to the playoffs on well, fuck, not yeah. Technically next week on this Sunday though, we're going to the playoffs, and the playoffs are played on this Sunday as well. playoffs are going to be between Team and Magical Ponies, and I'll be casting that first. I'll be casting that at 5 p.m. on Sunday Eastern Time, so that's um, 22 GMT, UTC rather. Um, and I will have a special guest present for that broadcast. I'll make a post about that later today, and then after that, immediately after our broadcast, Elmaster is gonna hop on and he's gonna cast Team Assimilator versus. Oh fuck! It's Team Assimilate. Fuck! I fucked up. God damn it. God motherfucking damn it. Let me fucking find. Let me find this shit. God. God damn it. I hate when I make dumb mistakes like that. Shit. Shit. Yeah. So we're gonna do this, this. Team Assimilate. There we go. Team Assimilate versus Stardom and the Plebs. It's going to be cast by Elmaster immediately after my broadcast with my special guest. And one more important thing for all of you guys still here. Please, please, please send your replays as soon as possible after your games on Sunday. That way we will be able to cast at the time that we want to cast, which is the same day as you guys play. I feel like that's something that is kind of important, especially when we're not capable of doing live casts, when you guys are spread all over the world and doing postponements and all that other stuff. So with all that being said, I'm really looking forward to the games, really looking forward to casting, and wish you guys all good luck. So ultimately, that about wraps it up for me. I don't really have anything left to share with you, and no energy to do if I even did. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for everyone who stuck around to see the replay analysis. And yeah, I guess that's about it. I keep saying that, but I'm usually here with somebody else, and it makes the outro a little bit more flow a little bit better, I guess. So I'll just give shout outs. Shout out to Gecko for feedback in the channel. Shout outs to him for doing all the Liquipedia shit he does. Shout outs for all the free points he donated to me on your letters. It was really fun beating up on him. I don't think he ever beat me even once. It was fucking incredible. And I actually got to A4. Maybe it was A5. A5 on your letters, so I did get that $100 sweet, which apparently killed the server while I was at it. So I really am upset that I can't play your letters anymore. I fucking love that game. If you can do anything about that, please do. I also want to give a shout out to Grandad. He tunes in all the time. He's a big fan apparently of mine for some reason. Guy who I casted with, great broadcasts. Definitely shout outs to all the viewers, all the players. Shout outs to Shugo for sharing the replay with me. Shout outs to Team Liquid for having that Bisu replay. Shout outs to my team. Hashtag team. We're in the business. And what else we got? Shout outs to Elmaster. Shout outs to Laser Snipe. That's about it. Have a nice night, guys. Take care.